Ladies and gentlemen, I will take it. Trump, unleash the illegal. That's heroic. This is the stupidest. Trump has done nothing illegal, okay? At worst, their argument is that Trump is failing to facilitate the return to the United States an illegal immigrant MS-13 gang member. It wasn't illegal. It's called error. Right? So the difference. There was an administrative error in the deportation was popping up behind the...
But as far as what he can do personally from the White House and from the Oval Office, I think he's done more than what any other president has ever done, especially as a conservative and a Republican. He came in, I think he learned from his first 4 years. He came in like a bull in a china shop and signed everything, literally. I don't even know when the man has a break from signing executive orders at this point, basically.
I don't know when the man sleeps. Yeah. Apparently he sleeps 6 hours a night.
Sounds about right.
That's crazy. So the big question here, though, is this, is approval. So RCP approval ratings in aggregate has Trump at -7. But I do want to stress, completely meaningless. Society is collapsing. The end is nigh. And these polls are, I'm exaggerating, guys. The polls mean absolutely nothing is what I'm trying to say. You've got NPR, ABC, CNN, and I believe Daily Mail, and New York Times and CBS. They're all saying in the past week, Trump is double digits underwater. All right.
Standard or free roll?
Huh?
Start the goddamn game.
What'd you say?
Refill. Did you fucking hear that?
Yeah,
Or do I have to
shut
say
your
it again?
fucking
Fucking deaf motherfucker.
That's crazy. Now, Rasmussen has a -4, and they tend to be more accurate. And, you know, we had the guy from Rasmussen on recently, and they have been very, very accurate. But my issue with the aggregate polling right now is that you can have two polls, one saying Trump is up 1, and the next day he's -9, or I should say the next period. Then he's -2. They're all completely different and random. Back, you know, let's just go back 8 years when I used to cover a lot more of this stuff in the first Trump term, and I'd always go for these polls and I'd be tracking them every day. They were fairly similar. They'd all have Trump at like -6 or 7, and they wouldn't change that much because what's really going on? How is it that you've got these corporate polls showing Trump double digits underwater, and the swing from the polls is insane? This week it's plus that, then it's minus that. That's why I say it's largely meaningless. But what I will say is Trump is down, okay? Rasmussen had Trump up at the beginning of the month at, I believe he was +4, and now he's -4.
Yeah, start the goddamn game, dog.
This is not good for Donald Trump, but I don't think it's apocalyptic. Now, the reason why I don't want to use aggregates, as I often say, people are going to be like, Tim, you always say use aggregates. It's because they're all randomized at this point. All these pollsters have changed their systems up, and now they're giving wildly different numbers across the board. Now, you can make the argument that, you know, NPR, ABC, CNN, Daily Mail, they all show Trump,
surprised that I know.
-10, 12, 10, 14, 13, 10. That's pretty comparable, right? But this whole 100 days, it's like during the same period, one of these polls would have Trump at +9 and one would have him like -3. I'm like, how is that possible that we're getting such wildly different numbers? What I do think matters is that if you track any single poll that you trust, and so Rasmussen we trust, and they are showing Trump down. So comparing Rasmussen to itself, you don't necessarily know if it reflects the greater population at this 100 days, but you do know that it reflects the movement of how people are feeling, because Rasmussen polls generally the same way every time. So if we want to argue that they're the most accurate, or they tend to be very accurate, and they do, I believe the past several elections, they were all within the margin of error, pretty spot on, then this shows that Trump has gone down a bit. The question for you guys, I think, is do you believe the American population really holds Trump at a double-digit negative view right now? Or do you think that the corporate press is just playing games?
Corporate press. I mean, isn't he still down in Iowa 14 points? Remember that poll that came out just before the election?
Yeah.
I mean, what's more important here, too, is do you think the White House cares? And you know, when you have this constant spin with the tariffs and everything that he's doing, he's taking very, very bold moves. Again, the strongest moves I've seen from a president, just in general, in my lifetime coming in, other than maybe Biden, who tried to reverse everything from Trump as soon as he came in.
I'm loving
Keep
this,
that
right?
passion
Joe
going
Biden,
for
who
him.
tried to decree a constitutional amendment,
Unless you want
and
me
they're
to
saying Trump
fucking
is a
play that
dictator.
piece of shit game.
Yeah.
Is this what's going to happen? So every time we
Wait,
get
are
a new
you-
administration and it switches to the other party,
What?
they're just going to undo everything
Are you
that
in the
everyone
lobby?
did through executive order.
Yeah.
No,
No?
no, because society is
Where
collapsing.
are
and
you?
it is
I don't see you.
So by the time the next administration comes in, there
You're
won't
in
be a
my
government?
lobby.
No, I'm kidding. Like I do think you're largely correct, but I will stress. Obviously, we have this Matt Taibbi article where he's asking about civil war,
Ah, dude,
and
where
it's
are you?
because people largely missed this story, which is interesting. He's just writing about it now. That a whole bunch of uniparty Democrats wrote a letter vowing to mobilize and stop Trump recently, and I'm just
literally
seeing
don't
this. I'm
see
like,
you.
okay, I didn't realize that.
Wow.
And mobilize is a very specific term, but there's
What do
a
they mean by mobilize?
Game or whatever.
we know what it means. When the Democrats say go out in the streets, they're not saying to sing songs, hold hands under a rainbow like Kumbaya. Right? They're saying form a gigantic mass so that far left extremists can firebomb buildings.
Are you talking about Democrat politicians or
I'm
just
just gonna
people who
leave.
support the
I already
Democratic Party?
removed you.
Establishment shills like people who worked in the deep state and Clinton and things like this. We'll get into that story. What I was going to say is one story that's been bubbling up recently is that this is the year the demographic cliff is supposed to start. And,
So-
I didn't know about this because when the financial crisis happened, I guess, how old was I? 22 years old? 21, 22?
It's a game.
And for me, I was broke as a joke as it was. So when the market crashed and bottomed out, here's the floor, right? I'm right here. Everybody else is here. They go down. I didn't really notice much. I was like, still poor.
Yeah.
But when this happened, what most people at the time were talking about is that people stopped having
Yo,
kids.
your mic is cutting
and
out.
so
like
now
mine
it has
is,
been
so-
Yeah, well, blame Turtle Beach, dude.
You're using Turtle Beaches?
Yeah, those ones that I can't fucking use my other fucking headphones because Sony's gay.
You're not receiving the invite?
Accepted it. They're not joining me.
Not yet.
18
Oh,
years. We are supposed to see a new generation of workers entering the
Strike this
workforce,
piece of
going to
shit.
colleges, and they don't exist. So this is going to cause a massive train wreck in our economy in ways that we don't exactly know how that's going to happen. So when I say society is crumbling at the end of the night, I'm just thinking about, these movies that are bombing, these video games that won't sell. And for a while I'm thinking, I really do think the issue is there's no kids anymore. There is a shortage of young people.
Well, toys right now are the number one consumer of toys are people our age.
Yeah, it's really.
Yo, I got
action.
my buddy bought me a Tim Pool. Shout out Andy. He bought me a Tim Pool Pokemon card and Pokemon toy, because I'm a Pokemon. Most people don't know this. I literally am a Pokemon. They made a Pokemon after me. How many of you get to say that? Look, you think I'm joking? Take a look. Tim Pool. Did you guys know that? There you go. Tell me that the little blue and black frog with headphones on named Tim Pool is not me, when that is the colors we use for the company and he's wearing headphones. I digress. You are right. Adults are buying toys. They made the adult Happy Meal. There's no kids. So what I will say is,
Hey, can you send an
to your
invite again?
question, Brett, when you ask
Yeah, I just sent it.
every administration is going to change and do this, I was thinking about what happens to a civilization when they undergo a population collapse. Now, I don't know for sure. It's probably stupid for me to speculate in this way, but there were the English peasant revolts after
Hate
the
this
Black Plague.
game.
And this was
Just giving me a
because,
connection error.
with massive labor shortages following the Black Plague,
Hold on, let me restart.
the
my
governments
game. It's gonna be a
were
fucking
trying
piece
to
of shit.
suppress, like the workers basically had a lot of leverage. So they were like, you need us for day-to-day operations in ways like you can't do. So we can have whatever we want. So the government tries suppressing them to stop them. So they tried using force against the leverage they had, which resulted in revolts. So I'm wondering, I don't think we're looking at as big a population drop-off as like the Black Plague. There was like 30 to 60% of the population of Europe. But I am wondering what's going to happen when we were just hearing the other day in Charlestown, West Virginia, businesses are closing because they can't find workers. There's I mention this all the time. There's restaurants that we've been to where they say that they closed after COVID and they can't reopen because they can't find anybody to do the work. So, simple version, the next administration that comes in, if there will be one, it is going to be radicals. And they're with what this crisis brings, I think we're going to end up with hyper-polarized ideological solutions and factions vying for power that if they get the power, will try to enact very radical things. So, with that being said, the Trump administration is doing something absolutely radical. And a lot of people might want to say, no, this is totally normal as America, but hold on. The past 30 years has been uniparty neoliberal rule with the Republicans saying, slow down there, Democrats. They've opened our borders, advised our children, the children of this nation to not have their own kids, to stop having kids because of climate change or to get abortions. And they opened the borders to allow tens of millions of people in. And Trump is seeking to reverse it in a way that is very, very different. They now are calling to mobilize against them. So there you go, rant over.
Yeah. So does that pave the way for like a Bernie AOC ticket for 2028?
AOC maybe,
Yeah.
but
Bernie just
not Bernie.
drag his ass.
Well, Bernie's too old.
It's not just that. It's like, with all due respect, I'm not trying to be a dick to Bernie, but he's past the average life expectancy for a male. Considering he's never actually done a job in his life, that may either. You know, I'm actually curious. I would assume that if you've never worked, you probably would live longer. You know what I mean?
Less stress.
Like an animal in captivity. However, you also might be weaker. You know?
Look at Joe Biden. I mean, he was in how long was he in government office?
Yeah, 50 some odd years,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
All of his adult life. So,
Bernie
20%
Sanders,
of this nation's
you know,
history.
prison and a $350,000 fine. The Milwaukee Journal Sentinel reports that typically in crimes of this kind of sentences are substantially shorter than the maximum. However, I will say, the feds have like a 90+% conviction rate. So
You never take a case you can't win to court.
I think she's going to take a plea of some sort. Unless she goes full resistance and then comes out, gets a microphone and says, I will not let Trump, Hitler, blah, blah, blah. And then she makes $20 million in donations.
Yes. And then she becomes a member of Congress, and whenever her sentence is up, that's exactly what's going
Well,
to
no,
happen.
no, she just runs in the midterm.
Oh, yeah.
Regardless
Yeah.
of her sentence.
Yeah. I mean, this is Wisconsin, so she'll win. Magically, those votes will come in, and she will win.
Is this a form of just toxic empathy? This type of, I understand that she's politically radicalized.
It's cult behavior.
Yeah.
Because the victims that were mercilessly beaten by this man were in court too. So it wasn't an issue of empathy. It was an issue of hatred. She hates Trump and the right so much that she wanted this man to escape to cause pain to Trump and his base.
Despite the fact that she was able to see the victims firsthand.
And the victims were waiting, and she ushered the guy out the back door to escape.
Also, anybody with half a brain now, like you said, she knows that she's going to turn
This guy's
into
shooting
a
me through
hero.
the fucking deer, man. That's
She's going to make a
such
lot of money,
bullshit.
and she's going to become a member of Congress. I'm not even like, that's not even like hyperbolic. She's going to become a member of Congress.
I'm gonna hang out with that lady who testified against Kavanaugh during his hearing. What was her name?
You know, it's just remarkable how evil these people are. Who were we talking to recently? I was talking to somebody, and they were talking about how they were surprised when they got into, when they went from the private to the public sector, how instantly people they knew turned on them. And I was like, yeah, yeah, I've certainly experienced that too. This Christine Blasey Ford, was that her name?
Yeah.
Her story was psychotic nonsense. I have 2 doors on my house now because I'm scared. It's like the back door and front door, like we talked about. No, I had to create 2 front doors because I'm scared. Then a report came out, no, she split her house to Airbnb one portion of it to make extra money. Then she goes, I've been afraid to fly ever since.
Yeah.
How'd you get here? I flew. Do you ever take a vacation? I do. How do you get there? I fly. What the? She's just lying. You get the E. Jean Carroll
5 minutes remaining.
where it's like 30 years later, she's like, Trump brought me into the Bergdorf Goodman. Nobody was there for some reason, and we unlocked a dressing room door somehow, and I was wearing a dress from the future.
One of the things that I think is true about this is like these arguments are always very, very persuasive to normies because when you ask the question, well, why would she lie? To a normie, they can't imagine a world where your politics are so insane that you would say something so blatantly not true.
Dude, this
for
guy's
the
camping
sake
in a
of
fucking
political-
corner the whole time,
Unless you
dude.
said, well, she's actually
What a
she's far
fucking
right,
faggot loser.
and she's lying because she's
Whoa.
trying to trick the left. Oh,
That's not
now I
necessary.
understand why she would lie.
Thanks.
They're called right wing.
Trash, man.
6D chess.
Six
Not
dimensional.
necessary, dog.
Back in multiversal time travel.
Who was the follow-up to Blasey Ford? Remember they gave her a New York.
Oh
York
yeah,
Magazine
yeah. And she
photo
claimed
shoot?
that was the one where was that the one where she claimed that Kavanaugh was waiting outside of there was a line of men.
There was a train.
Yeah.
And they kidnapped women and put them in the room and then ran trains on them by waiting outside.
That is so insane that
Don't
there
believe
was
it.
someone that tried to
Ju-
Rewarded
Julie something.
behavior. I mean, she got the who did the photo shoot for her? Wasn't the famous photographer did the photo shoot for her for the New York Magazine,
Yeah, I mean, look,
the New Yorker or whatever?
I know you're right. It just it blows my mind, and especially when you like bring these things up out of context, and so that we can like think about them without being in like steeped in the emotion. No, it's
The
like
moment when it's happening. Yeah.
that person literally tried to pass off the idea.
Julie Swetnick.
Piece of
Yes.
shit.
Sweat.
There's like 8
pass
people
off the
around me, but I
idea that
can't
there
see
were
a single
that
person.
there were like running trains on kidnapped women in a college. Like that was like the norm.
I want to see like a where are they now?
Getting shot
I'd
through
love to see what-
walls.
Does Sweatnick go back to her regular job after that, and then just go, you know?
I mean, it all.
Remember there was another guy who claimed that he like raped women on a
You
boat,
stop that right.
and when the
You
feds
get good, bro.
contacted him, he like recanted and got charged or something. They were just Let me see if I can find this one.
It was absolutely insane, and again, all totally rewarded. All of this is rewarded. So like for a normie who still has some morals and values, you think, oh, I'm gonna get busted line. But in these instances, it's like, hey, you can just get away. Look, you're gonna get probably a book deal, which didn't Blasey Ford get a book deal?
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, at least you'll be
Oh,
famous for a
right.
while. You get a couple speaking gigs, you make some good money.
Fucking joke.
Get out there, get taken care of. You know, it's just unbelievable how this is rewarded.
It really is. Especially again when you look back and you think you go through some of the and it was all because they didn't want this guy to be on the Supreme Court.
A guy claimed that he wrote a letter to Sheldon Whitehouse's office concerning a rape on a boat in August of 1985. And I think he ended up getting criminally charged for that. I'm not entirely sure. But this is the thing. They make these stories up. I've told this before. There are people that I've known that I consider to be really good friends from back in the day. I used to skateboard with them. All of a sudden, they're on X making up stories about them. Tweeting at leftist podcasters who gleefully post this. It's a world of psychotic cult-like behavioral lies. So anyway, back to the main point. You asked the question, you know, what is she doing this because of empathy? It's because it's a cult. Like really, these are low cognition people whose whole worldview is, oh, now's my chance to get something for me. I think they're evil. I I was talking to Jack Posobiec, and I said, Jack, I'm not a Christian. The resurrection story really, it doesn't do it for me. But I'll tell you what does. Possession. You tell me these people are possessed by demons, and I'm more inclined to believe in your religion. And I'm not joking about that, because there are people that I know, that I've known my whole life, that all of a sudden have turned evil, and I can't comprehend how.
Oh yeah.
And you say that's even scarier. You say low cognition people. I'm like, well, she's a judge. Like, I used to imagine that judges were intelligent, but if you can be both a judge
No.
and psychotic, then that's insane.
I went to law school. There's a bunch of dumb people in law school. I mean, you don't have to be a genius to get through it. You have to memorize enough stuff to pass tests. That's it.
Yeah, it's you need to know precedent. Right? Is what
That's it.
Yeah.
Literally. So there are like kind of cheat sheets, like Cliff Notes back in the day, but there's like 3-4 pages. They sell.
Million people got through instead of 12 million, we'd still have to do something about those 3 million.
The narrative that the left's going for, that's what people want to see. Just get rid of the habeas corpus for non-citizens. And this shouldn't be a blanket for all Americans. If you're in the U.S. and you're a citizen, you should, of course, you should have your the right to habeas corpus. But when it comes to, here, if people that are here illegally.
Are you in the game yet?
No, it's just okay. Well, now it's
Your objective is to
Yep, no,
maximize eliminations. Hostiles pulled ahead.
Phew.
going.
Bro, this guy plays like such a bitch, man. Holy fuck. Yeah, he's garbage. The fuck?
Well,
5 minutes left. You're ahead of the enemy.
I just got shot.
Hostiles are ahead of you.
Just spawned behind someone. What the fuck?
Grab the lead. You're halfway to objective.
What the fuck is he
5
doing?
consecutive eliminations.
Fuck, this guy just disappeared right in front of me.
Two minutes.
Fuck you.
Dude, I knew that was you and I just chased. That's sick. Dude, I'm on like a 10 kill streak. Holy shit.
10
My
consecutive eliminations.
God, yeah, 10, right? Holy fuck.
Keep pushing for objective.
Oh, dude. Yo, that was fucking dirty, bro.
60 seconds left.
Holy shit, that was like 13 or 14.
You're close to objective. Thirty seconds left.
Shit.
Literally getting shot by 3 people, dude.
Fuck yourself.
15 seconds. 10 seconds remaining.
Well, I'll
5
deal with
seconds
a 1 KD.
Oh!
The time limit has been reached.
Yeah, dude, I had like 15 HP. I still got like 7 kills.
Legally, just ship them out.
What about people on green cards? Legal visitors.
Well, those people wouldn't be subject to deportation for being here
But
illegally.
if they had habeas corpus stripped, if only citizens remained with habeas corpus, what would that mean exactly for people that were here on a green card? If they
I
didn't
think
have
that
habeas
I think that
corpus?
the State Department could come up with a solution for that.
But it-
because
so-
state would say, okay, you're here on a green card, then okay, you can stay. Because green cards are something that are at the discretion of the State Department. So
or like a visa.
those are also
Someone's
at the,
here on a visa.
Those are also at the
So they would-
discretion.
But so if the habeas corpus was suspended for a human in the United States, what would that mean? They have no civil rights?
No, that just means that means to deport them, they don't have to go in front of a judge.
What other rights do they lose?
This means specifically one thing. Illegal immigrants right now can be subject to expedited removal. They don't go before judges. That's just not a thing that happens. An ICE agent can see a guy and say, we have reason to believe that you're an illegal immigrant. You have paper, you have an ID or whatever. If the suspicion rises to probable cause, then they can detain you for longer and try and figure things out. Meaning, do they think your documents are forged? But let's say what typically happens. A guy comes in, they say, what are you doing? They say, oh, I've come here, I don't have any paperwork or whatever. Okay, expedited removal.
You're on the clock. Eliminate hostiles.
Already.
Lead. Double.
Oh, that guy almost got fucking shit on.
ahead of you.
This guy sucks, dude.
You're ahead of the enemy. 2 kills. 5 minutes.
Dude, that was locked right there, bro. Holy fuck. Yeah, the guy that just killed you plays like a fucking faggot.
You're halfway to objective.
Dude, why am I getting sound cues to the right when he's not even... Okay, yeah, the sound is horrible. I love how he's not there. Turn around, he's right there.
Enemies are in the lead.
Like, I'm just literally spawning in front of people. Dude, this Kepler guy plays like such a fucking faggot and he's still barely positive. Like, you're garbage, bro. Yeah, you're bad, dude. Fucking bad. Oh my god, that guy sucks.
Fucking lagging.
Like, you either don't try to fucking outgun this guy, or he just he shoots you from behind. Because he just shoots you either from behind or through
60
walls.
seconds left.
Guy's a fucking loser.
Hostiles are pushing for objective. 30 seconds left.
Guy's a loser.
15 seconds left. 10 seconds. 5 seconds.
Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah, I won.
Down draw.
I had less deaths.
The dog, he had more assists.
Yeah, it's free for all. You don't get assists.
That means we can get you out of here ASAP. You don't go before a judge. That's most of the cases. That's what Obama was doing to the tunes of millions. Suspending habeas corpus means that the people who live here, who are considered MS-13 or Tren de Aragua, that have been adjudicated as such, will not get a hearing. They will be deported right away. So the Supreme Court basically said everybody's got to get a habeas hearing. That's where, when they arrest somebody, they can go before a judge and determine whether or not it was lawful detainment or arrest. Do we have the right to hold you? But in the instance of like Kilmar Abrego Garcia, 2 courts had already adjudicated him as a member of MS-13. The only due process issue that's being questioned is he was supposed to get an interview with the USCIS agent to determine whether or not the circumstances in El Salvador had changed. They have changed, so he is safe. So it's only a technicality that he didn't get his review after the fact. Trump administration could probably do that review and it would be over, and they could even do it from here, from the office, without interviewing the guy, because they just be like, we reviewed the circumstances of El Salvador, he's fine. He's safe in prison. Have fun.
So this, oh, sorry.
No, that's it.
So this is kind of a sticky situation because I see the arguments that like Phil's making where it's like, hey, look, the Democrats created a big problem for us. We have all these people that are here illegally.
Eliminate
That
as
quite
many
frankly, we don't have
hostiles as you
infrastructure to properly get them in front of immigration judges to get.
Damn, dog.
Enemies are in the lead.
Damn, dude.
People are playing with fucking gays, dude. Absolutely shit on.
Loading new mag.
Your team takes the lead.
Bro, that guy sucks, dude. I can't even win a
consecutive
gunfight. I'm not even full HP. Joke. You got 3 kills from pre-firing, and then he can't even win a gunfight. Unreal.
Hostiles have the lead.
Dude, the sound is fucking horrible in this game. You don't notice it until constantly. Nice, dude.
Damn.
Damn, dude, we have a kid going on 4.
Yeah. Huh? Oh, 5, dude.
Reloading!
Oh, fuck.
Dude, look, this
Yeah.
this HH kid is negative, but he just gets so lucky. I think he's killed me every time. Every time he's killed me.
What you trying to say?
Like, some people are just lucky, man. It's annoying, but it's so nice. What am I playing, dude? Get out of my fucking way.
Oh, fuck.
Dude, like, he's just randomly firing at my head, and then when I can see him, he stops. Like, what the fuck is that?
Yo, dude, I got a kill.
Nice, dude.
I got another kill.
I'm
Damn.
not even getting outgunned, dude. I'm just getting shot from behind.
Nice, dude. Nice.
Piece of shit.
You know, some type of
Yeah.
proper, you know, adjudication. But at the same time, I also see the problem where you can have people where
Why the
won't be
fuck
able to see a
did
judge
you
in their
guys
case,
gotta
right?
invite
Like
me
we can look at
back
some of
up?
the people that are being, you know, arrested by ICE for, you know, their comments against Israel,
What
right?
the
The anti-Semitism
fuck
laws
is
they
you
push, like the girl that wrote the op-ed or
talking
Mahmoud Khalil, whatever, where they're not going to get due process. So I see both ends because there's people that need to be removed that are here illegally that, you know, you might need the suspension of habeas corpus to kind of get things through because we don't have the immigration infrastructure to deal with it. But at the same time, you do have a good amount of people, or you do have people that do have valid cases where they need to go see an immigration judge. So it's a very difficult situation where you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. And it's tough. It really is tough in this situation because there's people that quite literally need to be removed, and honestly, they don't even get a right to a judge because they've been ordered removed by an immigration judge. And then you got other people that kind of have to go through the process and see an immigration judge.
There's no answer. There's no
clear-cut answer here because every case is different.
Well, what I mean is, you've got TDA, you've got MS-13, and you have 20 million illegal immigrants that flooded the country.
Yep.
They are doing everything in their power to unconstitutionally block Trump. The problem is Trump can do nothing and then be unconstitutionally blocked. Or
What'd you have for
he
dinner,
can
dog?
declare, as Abraham Lincoln did, we're going to suspend habeas corpus for these people under the Alien Enemies Act
Oh, damn.
and deport
What
them
did
to
I
El
say?
Salvador. Why
Burrito
is he doing
boys?
that? Because Venezuela will not take back their TDA members. The people from Venezuela who were released from the prisons and kicked out of the country, many have turned to Nicaragua. Venezuela basically said, screw you, we won't accept your flights. So where do we deport them to? Trump cut a deal with El Salvador saying, hey, we've got criminal gang members from Venezuela. Venezuela won't take them back. El Salvador said, we'll take them. But their criminal gang members are going to jail. And Trump said, okay. Supreme Court said they got to have a habeas hearing before you do that. If he suspends this, he can deport them under the Alien Enemies Act. Just, there you go.
Sometimes you just have to
It is,
accept
but here's the problem.
life.
I do not want Trump to suspend habeas corpus. Obviously, he's not doing it for all Americans. He's doing it for illegal immigrants. Meaning, only after you... Okay, so these are people who are found to have already been TDA or MS-13. They are picking them up and sending them back. Sending them to El Salvador or to jail. There's no hearing for this. They're not American citizens. So it is a difficult position. I do not want Trump to do that. However, the position we are in right now is Trump does nothing, and then we have MS-13 gang members, 20 million illegal immigrants. And I'm talking like at large. I mean, some argue it's 10, some argue it's 40. If Trump does nothing, it gets worse, and then we have to deal with the ramifications of that.
Like their kids.
And not only that, the
And their
immigration system is extremely cumbersome, slow. Like, we're talking about people might not be able to see a judge for years, and this is why we have a lot of the problems that we have, is because these immigration judges, a lot of the times, this is what happened with Biden. Basically, these illegal aliens would come in, they would get a notice to appear. Instead of an expedited removal, they get the NTA, and then they kind of just go out into the wind, and they don't see a judge for years. And this has been a problem in the immigration system for a while. Even when I was on a job, I knew that if I gave someone an NTA, they wouldn't see a judge for a very long time. That's why I rarely ever gave out NTAs except unless they were informants. So we have a big problem in the immigration world where we also need to reform the immigration court system as well.
And I hear your concern about people that are targeted for for violate or what essentially is freedom of speech, right?
Yeah.
And I understand your point when it comes to there should be no laws against being criticizing Israel.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be laws against anti-Semitic speech either. I'm fully on the same page with you there. I will say people that are targeted by ICE and stuff like that when it comes to those type of activities, they're also almost to a man anti-American and anti-Western, very frequently anti-capitalist. They're anti-American, and they want to see, the destruction of the United States, destruction of the Western way of life. So, whereas I do understand your point, and if it was just about Israel, I'd be on the same page with you. But I don't, because of the other activities that they're involved in, almost all the time, I don't have a problem with getting them out.
What's the anti-Semitism? What happened? Like some people on a
two
visa?
big people were there was a bunch of students that have been basically arrested and deported by ICE because of their speech that's critical of Israel. Like one girl up in Boston, she wrote an op-ed and they went and grabbed her. And here's my thing when it comes to anti-Semitism thing. Like, I used to work for ICE, so I understand how their resources are kind of spread thin when it comes to going and deporting people. I think going after college students that are legally here on F1 visas, that are going to class and doing what they're supposed to do, and their criticism of Israel, targeting them is a gross misuse and waste of resources that they could be using on going on illegal aliens. Because, number one, we don't have the immigration infrastructure from the court system, and we also don't even have the resources when it comes to agents going after these guys. To waste it on people that are talking about Israel is kind of ridiculous, especially when they're legally here versus all the people that are...
Dude, Ace got absolutely fucking destroyed.
Could in server room. Construction. Yeah, somebody's in construction.
Op 4, last operator standing.
Friendly, ceasefire, you muppet!
Okay, you guys should be good. Alright, she's peeking the door. Yeah, she's still by the door. Might be moving back. Yeah, she's still there. She's inside, she's inside. She's inside, yeah, she's in the room, yeah. Alright, she's going to the gym.
Mission failed. All friendlies were eliminated.
Bro, like...
What the fuck? Dude, my bad. I was trying to call out. But... What happened?
that are illegally here that really need to be deported.
I'm on the same page with you. I completely agree, and that is fair. But there is the Venn diagram of people that are anti-Israel, that are also anti-America and anti-West is almost a circle. You can't, like, if you listen to people like, and not saying that, just for an example of the attitude, right? Hassan Piker, very, very, very anti-Israel, very critical of Israel, right? Also hates America, hates capitalism,
Pro MS-13.
pro MS-13.
Very successful capitalist, by the way.
Just every bad thing that you don't want in your country, that's Hassan. Now, I'm not saying Hassan should be sent out of the country. He's an American citizen,
Yeah.
and if he's an anchor baby. But I use him as an example of the attitude and the opinions that tend to be of the people that are critical.
Let me respond to that. I think that's what sets us apart and makes us the best country in the world, is because we allow people that don't like our government, that don't like our country, to be able to exist and say it. And that's quite literally what separates us from these other countries. That's what makes us so great.
Again,
so though I disagree with their worldview and I think that they're wrong, I think us allowing them to say what they want to say.
They're underneath.
Dude, how am I not hitting him?
Good.
One's in
Hey,
construction.
but their political views separates us from everyone else
Or-
and makes us great.
I'm with you, except for people that are not American citizens. Hassan, as an
One of
American
them's trying
citizen,
to get into
fine.
garage.
He can say that stuff. He's an American. He was born here. Cool. American citizens can be critical of the United
Yeah,
States
one of
government.
them's
can
by
be
that wall.
critical of our way of
Server.
life. That's fine. But if you're going to come to the United States and you're going to go to school, you're going to be here as a guest. And then you're saying things like America must be destroyed. Beat it.
Well, here's the
Beat
thing, though.
it.
Here's the thing,
Beat
though.
it.
No, I see your perspective, and I actually
Before they can get one. U.S. District Judge Jennifer L. Thurston ruled on Tuesday that CBP agents in the Eastern District of California cannot stop illegal immigrants without reasonable suspicion or deport them via voluntary departure unless that person is explained their rights and agrees to leave, according to a report from the AP. That's right. In California, they said that if CBP finds an illegal immigrant, they have to ask them politely to leave, and if the illegal immigrant says no, they can't do anything
But if
about it.
they're an illegal immigrant, is that not reasonable suspicion?
Yes.
Okay, then how is she saying that?
I can talk about this in detail. Number one, she doesn't have the authority to say that because she's a district judge. So district judges and immigration judges are two different things. The district judge is overseeing a lot of times criminal cases that have nothing to do with immigration. So when it comes to immigration, as an immigration enforcement officer, and there's only a couple agencies that have Title 8 authority, it's Homeland Security Investigations, HSI, ICE Enforcement Removal Operations, which are both under the umbrella of ICE. You got Border Patrol, and then you got Customs and Border Protection, CBP, OFO, blue uniform, and then Border Patrol is green uniform, both under Border Patrol, both under Customs and Border Protection. A little confusing. And then FBI has limited Title 8, and so does CBP, Air Office of Air and Marine, AMO. Now, the reality is you can conduct something called an immigration inspection, right, where you're determining someone alienage. So if you live on the southwest border, if you're like, the Border Patrol checkpoints all over the place, and you go through, they say, of what country are you a citizen of, and you have to respond whether U.S. citizen or whatever. That's considered an immigration inspection, and then determining your alienage. So an immigration officer can absolutely ask you, hey, what is your status in the United States? And if you don't want to tell them, they can actually fingerprint you and figure it out under the Department of Homeland Security Act. So this is another example of an overzealous district judge thinking they know what they're talking about. But when it comes to Title 8 authority, we can have.
So this bandit doesn't put fucking batteries down.
back. These guys are dumbasses, dude. Both taken care of.
I think I sure, yeah, this guy.
Target located.
1 Op 4 remaining. Op 4 eliminated. Mission successful.
Absolutely ask and determine alienage, and the judge can't say shit about that.
The issue that we've got right now is that no matter what Trump does, they're claiming it's unconstitutional, despite the fact that universal injunctions and things like this are unconstitutional.
Yeah.
So, what do you do? Okay, I was on Piers Morgan earlier, and you know, Cenk Uygur was on, and Shri Tanadar. They're all saying everything he's doing is unconstitutional. He's doing all these unconstitutional things, and I'm like, so are Democrats. What does this mean? What does it matter? I got to be honest. I'm sitting here as a guy who reads the news all day, every day, watching Democrats scream that Trump is doing things that are unconstitutional while they do the exact same things, and I'm just like, for what purpose are we even debating it at this point?
Yeah, and even this immigration thing, like, you know, the habeas corpus is a whole other conversation. But when it comes to like determining alienage or, you know, hooking somebody up for being an illegal alien, that's 100% under the INA and Immigration Authority. A district judge has no say in that, like unless it's criminal. But the thing is with immigration is a lot of these cases end up becoming administrative, which have nothing to do with the criminal court process. So, you know, her saying this, you know, you can go ahead and yap all you want, but at the end of the day, determining alienage is 100% within their right to do so if they're a Title VIII enforcement officer.
We're looking at this potentiality of, you know, Trump maybe suspending habeas corpus, which, again, it appears under Article 1, so the argument is that it's a congressional power. I'm sorry, a legislative power, not an executive branch.
And here's the other thing, too, I'll tell you. This is how they stop terrorists a lot of times. Dirty little secret that nobody knows about. In these Joint Terrorism Task Forces, right, JTTFs that the FBI runs, HSI is one of their most important partners because a lot of the times the FBI can't gather enough evidence for actual material support of terrorism. So what they have to do a lot of the times is go the immigration route. And there's many different ways that you could go after someone, whether it's denaturalizing them if you're a U.S. citizen, getting their green card revoked for, you know, certain violations, or just getting them deported outright. That is how a lot of times these terrorist plots are thwarted, is through immigration enforcement. Why? Because
Proceed to bomb's location and defuse it.
I feel like this loser might try to spawn peek.
Reload!
Whoa.
Yeah, of course.
Wait, where the fuck was
The
it?
diffuser is no longer in your possession.
because immigration enforcement gives you way more latitude to get things done versus through the criminal
Everybody
court.
just
We were
fucking
reading an
dies,
article
serious.
from Matt Taibbi the other day about whether or not we're in a soft
Can you hear
civil
me right
war.
now?
Can I hear you? Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
He was talking about how 200 security officials and diplomats had written this letter saying it's time to mobilize to defend our way of life. And I see that, and I've been thinking about the population collapse quite a bit because I've been talking about it nonstop. Everybody listens knows. And I'm looking at the immigration thing, and I see it all together. And it's probably still surface level because I don't know everything that's going on. But it really does feel like there are two universes, two realities that are fighting. Both are completely aware of what the other represents. The Democrat side is the law is what we deem it so. These are the textualists of the Constitution. It's just whatever is written there as we interpret, as opposed to what did the founders mean. And their worldview is there's not enough people. That's a good thing because climate change is a bad thing. And you shouldn't have kids. You should get abortions. But also, we're going to open up the border and flood the country with millions upon millions of illegal immigrants, which will fundamentally alter the moral tradition and foundation of the United States. Then there's Trump. America is great. We have these structures in place. Here's what they mean, here's what they meant, and we will use what powers we have to defend this country. The problem is, both sides represent there's an end to the United States. And it's not that Trump is doing something or, well, I'll put it this way. What Trump is doing is desperately trying to pull the plane out of a tailspin and stop us from crashing. What the Democrats are doing is saying, you're already cooked. We're going to flood this country with people, otherwise the system crumbles anyway, and we're going to transform it into something else. It's going to be a global country for all people, multicultural, with open borders. And Donald Trump is saying, keep America, America. But there's not enough people. So I bring this up because thinking about
Didn't even hit.
what this
This
judge
is
is doing.
stupid, dude.
Okay, it's psychotic. Like, as you mentioned, judge can't do that.
Yeah,
But this
she
is-
doesn't even have the, yeah.
This is not the first time we've seen a judge basically say, I can say and do whatever I want. I believe it was Judge Boasberg who said that he had
one
equal
fucking shot
powers
hit
to the
there.
president.
Insane.
Absolutely does not. It's absolutely untrue. But they don't care. And so the issue is, whatever's going to happen, you've got two distinct worldviews that want control of this country, and they are headed for a collision course, whatever that means.
And the other thing too, right, is like, so, and we were talking about this earlier, like the problem with a lot of these liberals and these Democrats is like they're trying to paint Trump as like some crazy fascist or whatever because XYZ. Like the perfect example went down in Minnesota or Milwaukee.
If you're in Canada and have over $10,000 of debt, payday loans, credit cards, or lines of credit that you can't pay off or get to zero.
Milwaukee, wherever it was, with this judge that tried to block these agents from arresting this guy that was illegally here, right? I saw every big left-wing political commentator, so this is fascism, look at this, Trump is arresting judges, blah, blah, blah. But the reality is that judge broke the law. I mean, if we're going to go through it, that illegal alien that was there, and I'll go through this nice and factual so everyone understands, and I literally can debate any liberal on this because they don't know immigration law and they're stupid. It's very simple. Yeah, let's go through this because every single one of them gave this same exact talking point. He's arresting judges now, this is fascism. Okay, here are the facts. This guy was arrested back in 2013. I think Flores Ruiz is his last name. He was arrested back in 2013. He was arrested in Nogales, Arizona, right on the border. He was brought in. He got caught. Border Patrol gave him what's called an expedited removal, ER. That is good because they get deported within 2 weeks. They don't really see an immigration judge because they got caught on a load. They're not supposed to be here, inadmissible, boom. So that means he can't come to the United States. He comes back in again. He gets caught. He gets arrested for domestic violence, and he goes to see the judge. Immigration obviously is aware of this. Maybe there was a detainer put, whatever, but they know that he's here illegally and he's there. He's
Real
at the
quick.
court thing. Yeah.
Was the victim a man or a woman?
I think it was his girlfriend or wife.
Okay, because
Misdemeanor domestic
I think
violence.
they're gonna
basically.
spawn,
on Fox they
spawn
said
peek
he'd be a
again.
man,
Okay.
but then
Insertion in 5 seconds.
The guy that killed two of us last round, he was 1 in 4, so he
Located a
literally
bomb.
can't win
Make your way to
gunfights.
its
He has to catch
location
us
and
off guard.
defuse it.
Moving mags! Safety console. Smoke grenade!
I just saw someone started shooting and they were instantly gone. I don't understand.
I think somebody's in construction.
Yep. I think there's 2. Jump out. Nice.
Why did he just...
Reloading. Overdrive. Fatal anchor.
Must recover the diffuser.
Dude, how soft do you have to be to flag that as offensive.
Whoa.
Op 4 last stop standing.
See, these guys are just one tricks. They can only use that gun.
Op 4 eliminated all
Oh,
friendlies.
dude. What is that? Dokubi's gun, right?
Yeah.
Shit's so stupid, man. Ugh, the game where I get 7 kills when we win run, dude. I don't know what to do, man.
A separate time, they said that there were 2 female witnesses there seeking justice. So
Okay. I know it was a misdemeanor crime of DV, either or. So people are getting mad, right, saying, oh, well, because then what happens is this is very important. So the agents go to the courthouse and they are talking with the bailiffs. Hey, look, we're here to effectuate an arrest. This guy's coming here, etc. The guys say, okay, cool, whatever. Now they're giving a
Alright,
courtesy.
I'll be
vote,
back.
right?
I'll let the matchmaking. Once I die, I'll go.
Even
back.
saying why they're there. They don't need to tell them why they're there.
Oh
They go
my
ahead and they say that.
God.
Then they wait outside the courtroom. The defense attorney comes out.
This
and I
map
read
is
this
good
article
for
in the complaint.
defense, but
The
for
defense attorney
offense,
comes
you
out,
might as well
sees
just
them.
kill yourself.
Obviously, cops look like cops. Hey, these guys are probably feds. They're here to pick this guy up. So she goes and tells the judge. Judge comes out angry, tells him, hey, what are you guys here for? The deportation officer's an idiot. He goes, oh, yeah, I'm here to pick up this guy. Do you have a judicial warrant? That's irrelevant. This guy's illegally here. He's ordered deported by a judge. He's not supposed to be here. He was expedited removed. Whatever. So she takes him to another judge's chambers, the chief judge, while she has her hearing. Luckily, the DEA agent that was there, that was a part of this arrest task force, is sitting on the bench. They didn't identify him. So he has eyes on the guy. When the guy finishes his court appearance, Flores Ruiz, the judge takes him through her chambers, which is something that you never do, right? No one goes to the judge's chambers except for agents a lot of times, her and her staff. She takes him through her chambers and then goes outside the side. Now, the DEA agent sees this, and he tells the other guys, hey, just so you guys know, while you guys are wasting your time in this other judge's chambers, because he's trying to call his boss and stuff, why he's there, explaining himself for no reason. The guy gets an elevator with his...
Secure the bombs. Op 4 has located a bomb. Plan your defenses accordingly.
Swapping mags!
At least one guy's with me.
Impact out.
I think. I have bomb.
Op 4, last operator standing. Friendly's victorious. Hostiles eliminated.
Fuck.
Yeah, I don't know what the
They're
fuck
talking
that
to each other in
was.
Spanish. DEA agent is there listening. They don't know he's an agent. They get outside. He's telling the guys, hey, come outside. He's out. He's out. So they go out. and they identify themselves, foot chase ensues, they go and grab him. Now, here's the problem. The reason why they go to the courthouse to do this stuff is because they know it's sanitary. They know he doesn't have a gun. He doesn't have a weapon. It's a safe place to effectuate the arrest. We do it all the time. I used to do it all the time, right? So when
Yo, give me your opinion on this, all right? So when I do shoulders,
Nah.
yo, shut your faggot cunt. Specifically when I do shoulder press, my left shoulder gets. It doesn't even get tight. It just gets like a really sharp feeling, and I don't know if it's like the tendon or if it's a ligament, but it
Secure
it
the
just
bomb.
randomly hurts. It's not because like I'm pushing too hard, or it's not because like it hurts while I'm doing it. It just starts either late at night after I do it, or when I wake up. Makes no sense to me. Did that ever happen to you with shoulder press?
Specifically with shoulder press, what do you mean when you say sharp? In pain?
Like, it's hard to describe. It seems like
Down to 5 seconds.
I'm gonna have to explain it to you in an analogy. Imagine your
You must protect your bombs from being
your
defused
muscle
by
is
Op 4.
like a string that's being pulled.
Oh, isn't that what a muscle is?
Yeah, but like, it kind of feels really thin. Nice. It feels thin. It doesn't feel as thick as the entire muscle. So that's why it's weird. That's why I don't know what the fuck it is.
So when this judge purposely took them around the side, didn't let them
There's
you
a
know,
guy
be there and make their lawful arrest that they were
Ping it
supposed to
up.
make,
I think it was
she
Knock.
obviously obstructed them, and I would argue 8 U.S.C. 324, anyone could look this up. There's a substatute in there which,
And I-
you know,
and I find
entices
I
or
can't
enables
stretch it
aliens to
either
stay in the
to
country
make it
illegally.
feel right.
And here's the other thing.
Which
When
makes
people
it
say
weird.
due process, he shouldn't even been in the fucking first place to be able to
Go
commit
get
that
your
domestic
drink,
violence.
dude.
So his
Oh yeah, I forgot. I'll be back.
Be advised, Op 4 has located a bomb.
Reloading.
Friendly, last operator standing. Op 4, last operator standing. All friendlies were eliminated. Mission failure.
Why is he playing close doorways when he has that gun?
there is no due process for him because he was ordered removed.
There's another question for a federal outside of immigration.
Yeah.
In that this is a man facing criminal charges.
Yep.
Ignore immigration. Let's say a guy, an American-born guy, his name's Cletus, and he mercilessly beat his wife. And he comes into court, and his wife is there with her, mom, and they're crying, and they're like, look what he did to her. And the judge goes, I'm going to sneak you out of here. And then takes this guy accused of mercilessly beating his wife, shuffles him out the back door, and says, run for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a crime, too.
Yeah, it is.
So outside of immigration, there should be other federal charges on this.
And the thing is,
Yo,
like,
you
with
there?
these guys, they were being...
Yep. Fucking hear me?
Yep.
Secure the bombs.
Have you ever had food from Five Guys?
Nope.
Say that again? Yeah?
No.
No? Dude.
Switching to Telex.
Why?
I was just wondering. I want it, and it's fucking good. Do you know if this chick's, because I think you've
Bomb
played her
location
more, do you know if
compromised.
her
Plan
shield is,
accordingly. 10 seconds remaining.
takes an infinite amount of bullets?
5 seconds left.
I think so.
Reloading. Cover the
Be
shadows.
smashed though.
Be ready for hostile action.
What?
It can be smashed though.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry guys, it's like the normal, shield, whatever it's called.
Razor wire deployed. Throwing the razor blue.
Changing maps. Reload.
I was here. Nothing your feet.
Wait, what?
Op 4, last operator standing.
Oh wait, what the fuck? I have full HP now? Oh, and full ammo? Yo, I didn't even know that. What the hell?
Nice.
Dude, I'm literally hitting him, but I just... Oh, so he didn't even headshot me. I just got joked. He literally two-bulleted me. So I guess I don't get all my HP back? Because
Being really nice,
no,
very
definitely
polite. Because I
wasn't
get it.
full
You're
HP
there
though.
in a state court. You're there to conduct an arrest. You don't want to create problems. You kind of want to be able to do this later on in the future. But the judge got in the way and obviously obstructed. So 100%, she's in the wrong. She deserves to go to jail for that. And all these, Democrats are going wild because literally, dude, it's like they all gave the same
Down to 15
report.
seconds.
Trump is a fascist. He's arresting judges now. They're doing their jobs. They're standing up for due process. Blah blah. But what they don't understand is that guy didn't deserve due process because he shouldn't have been here in the first place.
No.
The Democrats don't get this. They're
Hold on.
idiots.
This is the gaslighting. Okay.
Yeah, I was so
Everybody-
pissed. I was like, I saw this.
Everybody gets their due process.
Yeah.
Due process does not mean criminal trial. Due process, legally defined, is the fair treatment under the law. Illegal immigrants get fair treatment under the law.
Yep.
An ICE agent will stop them and say, I have reason to believe you're not a citizen. Can you show me some ID? If they can't, they
Nice.
say, okay, come with me. We're going to come and check out who you are. Turns out he's not a citizen. Expedited removal. You don't even go to a judge.
Well, here's the thing. If you got ordered expedited removal, I don't even got to do all that. I just take them. That's what I'm trying to say.
you gotta
Like
put 'em on a
this
plane.
ER,
You're not
yeah.
nasty
The
head
ICRO
coach or
guys that were there, like, look, I get it. They're trying to be polite and professional,
Disable
but
it.
honestly, they
Looking
didn't
at
have
the
to
ground
go
when
to
we're
court.
so
If
close.
it was me, if I was there and I was leading that team, I'd be like, I'm just taking them. Like this judge is being a pain. She's trying to distract us. I'm just taking them. You guys can't do anything about it.
This is the important thing here. The media, I believe, has successfully gaslit the Trump supporter base and conservatives into believing that due process means jury trial.
Oh yeah, due process might
Yeah.
mean no jury. It's whatever the righteous legal path forward is the due process. Whether
Exactly.
that's trial or no
So,
trial.
so now I'm hearing from all these conservatives saying he shouldn't get due process. No. No, they should all get due process. What is fair to someone who illegally entered the country for us to quickly send them back?
Honestly, his due process is you're under arrest for being here illegally.
could argue
That's his
that.
due
If a
process
guy-
because he's already been removed. And like again, This is why, and I don't blame people for not understanding this stuff, because immigration law is very nuanced and complicated. So unless you worked in it, you're not going to know this stuff. But the reality is, like, for all these liberal talking heads, like, they don't know what they're talking about. And I could debate any of them on this.
Nice,
like,
dude.
the guy shouldn't even have been in the courtroom in the first place and gotten this due process that they're crying about.
Oh yeah,
Shouldn't
you
have
know,
been here, was ordered removed.
I'm sure you do,
I
but
feel
you know,
like he's good on this map.
you know he can
Use your drone
do
to
that
locate
shit
a bomb.
through reinforced walls.
Yeah, I think you mentioned.
I swear, when we played, he couldn't do that.
Yeah, I don't think he could.
Be advised your drone has located a bomb. Insertion in 10 seconds.
Oh,
What dog?
that was funny.
5 seconds before
What
insertion.
was funny, dog?
You jumping straight in the air and then running into a wall.
Proceed to bomb's location and defuse it. You have dropped the diffuser.
Nice.
Diffuser has been recovered.
Fucking incredible, dude.
Nice.
No longer in your possession.
That's just incredible.
Friendly, last operator standing.
Are you fucking serious, dude?
Yeah, my teammate shot me and downed me, and then Mirage killed me. It's killed us both.
Are these people retarded? I've been spotted by the scans.
All friendlies have been eliminated.
I'm dead. Damn,
Dude, that
dog.
was hilarious, man. Holy fuck.
But them just coming out.
Yeah, I'm just jumping
Got
down.
an expedite
down.
removal. Cook.
I'd argue if a dude attacked a police officer with a gun and was threatening and going to shoot and kill the police officer, and the police
You
officer
fucking
shoots and
retard
kills
again?
the guy got his due process. That's
Oh,
exactly
that
what
was-
was supposed to happen illegally to the guy if he was threatening the life of a police officer.
Not quite.
That's a form of due process.
Well, you know, I'm gonna half agree with Ian. I understand the point he's trying to make.
Yeah.
That are you treated fairly under the law? And if you're a dude who's threatening to murder a cop, and the cop, seeing a threat to his life, defends himself, You were treated fairly under the law. It's a
Or
tragedy.
can she
but
do
you-
that
you
through
created
reinforced
circumstances.
walls?
And I
Does not
also
mean
want to
jury
say
trial.
here too, it's very
I
important.
don't
and again, I'm
know.
speaking
I don't
about
think
this
so,
immigration. This
but
is why,
I've
like, when it
never
comes to
tried
like
it,
the,
I've
the
never seen it.
anti-Semitism stuff, that's a bit different because these people were legally here and they're kind of using some nuanced laws to try to justify removing them. But with these other individuals, like this guy Ruiz or whatever,
Use your
like
drone to
he
locate
was
a
literally
bomb.
removed, and an immigration judge already deemed them as like, you know, you have a final, what's called a final order of deportation, which means you don't even get to get like you're cooked. Like you get deported anytime an immigration officer encounters you. So that's kind of what it comes down to. But the problem is that since so few law enforcement actually have Title 8 authority or even understand it, they can't enforce it properly, or they try to stay away from it, which is why so many people go to places like Denver or these blue states because they won't even bother
advised,
asking.
your drone has
Even if they
located
know
a
that they're
bomb.
illegal, they won't even try to call ICE or hold retainers or any of this stuff, which is a big reason why we're in this problem in the first place, where these law
10
enforcement
seconds to
agencies
go.
are scared to even touch Title 8.
We're coming up on the age of people
Insertion
thinking
in
that it's
5
okay.
seconds.
Because I think law.
You've located a bomb. Make your way to its location and defuse it.
Stay clear of the blast!
The diffuser is no longer in your
Whoa.
possession. The diffuser has been recovered. You have dropped the diffuser.
Nice.
Lights on. Lights set. Lights on. Swapping bags.
Law doesn't mean good. You might have evil laws. The people that did the deeds from the Nazis, for instance, might have been doing the righteous thing even though it was illegal. And you're going to see this conversation about is it righteous to break these laws, to harbor illegal aliens. That's going to be the big conversation for 4 years.
It's already a conversation.
One
we had
friendly
here.
operator
There
remaining.
are people that are. There was I don't know if it was a senator or a congressman that was saying that it's the moral thing to do. The judge that was hiding the illegal immigrant, that he was doing something illegal, but it was the moral thing. They're already.
Well, that is deeply runs through me as well because I don't always adhere to the law. If it's an evil law, you have a moral, righteous duty to defy the law.
No, it's not a moral thing to hide someone that has come here illegally.
15 seconds.
That's immoral because.
Well, think about this though. What if the laws get changed
10
and now it's
seconds left.
illegal for some other thing? It's like that really should
All
be.
friendlies have been eliminated.
Come up with all kinds of hypotheticals, but the fact of the matter is, the people that have come here illegally, the intent is to dilute the voting power of the existing American citizens. It is not moral to allow them to stay and harm the American people by making their votes making their vote have less power.
And there's also
We
a
lost.
very illicit industry that literally runs off of this. It's
Yeah,
called,
we did
it's,
have a bunch of
you'll see
retards on our
Birds of the
team.
World. It covers human smuggling and also harboring. Like there's stash house operators all over the country that literally hold groups of illegal aliens there and get paid a lot of money to hold them there. It's almost like it's actually more lucrative than drugs in a lot of ways.
Yeah, because you can like if when it comes to a child that's being sex trafficked, that child can be raped 10 times a day as opposed to
Yeah, I'm gonna
you know,
go
what
on
you sell
Skype, yeah.
sell whatever some
Okay.
coke and they'll take.
Yeah, human smuggling is a very lucrative business. And the thing also that I need people to understand when it comes to like illegal aliens, a lot of people say, well, they're just trying to come here and find a better life.
No.
What people don't understand is, okay, let's assume they're coming in here and they're trying to live a better life. They're still funding and helping operate an illicit multi-billion-dollar business that facilitates the illegal movement of people into the United States.
Yeah.
That also goes into other crimes as well. So
People
you can't come to the United States without funding a human smuggling organization
Yeah,
to some degree.
people need to watch The Sound of Freedom again. Like rewatch that.
Bro, that intro.
I watched it a couple weeks ago, and it is horrible. And there is far too much bad that is going on
As you
than to ever think.
Enemy Overwatch has this area covered. Fall back.
There are some cold, hard truths in the world, my friend. So you voted for Polivier? How does it feel, dog?
Shocked.
God damn. The whole...
When was the last time, dog?
When's the last time we spoke of it?
Loading mag!
Dude, look, all these fucking walls that are open, and you can't even
Whoa.
fucking walk through them, dude.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Settle down. Settle the fuck down.
Swapping mags.
2 minutes remaining.
I love how I shoot first, he kills me without getting a headshot. Doesn't make any sense.
Try my best. Do what I can. But this is fucked up.
Dual kill.
I haven't got one top of them fight against that guy once yet.
One minute remaining.
Changing mag!
30 seconds left. 15 seconds remaining. 10 seconds. 5 seconds remaining. Time's up. Team wins.
I think that allowing them to stay is more fun because they're not these people.
That scene where Weasel says he quotes the Bible as he's catching the predator.
Yeah.
That movie was
So well, yeah, the guy that Tim Ballard used to be an HSI agent.
Yeah, of
he
course.
left. He left a long time ago. It changed a lot since he's been on the job. But like, yeah, he used to literally be, I think, out of our Arizona office back in the day. So
when I'm going hard on the legal stuff, I just
Phoenix maybe.
okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
He's great, by the way. We interviewed him on this.
Yeah,
show.
yeah,
He's a
cool
phenomenal
guy.
human being. The girl that got deported for being anti-Semitic.
You're on a timer. Eliminate hostiles.
This is fucked up.
Stay on track. Get back to work.
Did you see the new Star Wars collection? Dog,
Yeah.
you saw that?
What?
The Star Wars collection?
What do you mean?
There's like a new package collection of all the Star Wars games,
Oh,
like the old good ones. I don't know where it is, but it's available today or whatever. It's available right now. I would assume, yeah, it would be on Steam as well.
Double
Yeah,
kill.
look it up.
3 kills. 5 minutes remaining.
Oh, fuck off. Oh, I so cute. Dude, that fucking shotgun is so busted, dude. My god. And I literally spawned in front of the guy. He's aiming at my spawn.
Yeah, the Grand Collection, it's called.
Enemies are halfway to
Let's
victory.
So, yeah, it's called the Grand Collection. It has, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games.
How much?
I don't. Let me look that up. But it has Star Wars Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, Star Wars Bounty Hunter, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, Star Wars Episode 1 Jedi Power Battles, whatever that is, Star Wars Force Unleashed, Star Wars Racer, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, 2 The Sith Lords, Star Wars Republic Commando, and Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast.
I also like the OG game. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, enough of this game, dude.
Okay, no, I don't think it's for Steam. It's for PS5, PS4, and Nintendo Switch.
Star Wars Outlaws is 40. Oh, it's on sale. Dude, that shit's $90. Holy fuck! Yeah, the first Jedi Fallen Order, the first piece of shit faggot game is only $7 right now.
Bro, that game is amazing, dude.
Literal
It's
suicide.
the best game
fuel.
ever. Best game ever, dude. It's one of the funnest games to watch somebody play.
Yeah, while they fucking die of stress. Ooh, the Force Unleashed 2 is $6.50.
$6.50.
Yeah.
Damn, dude. Somebody's watching Jurassic Park, huh?
Yeah.
Is it the first one?
Yeah. I wish
I'm
they.
guessing the T-Rex just ate the fucking Velociraptor.
Yeah. Not to endorse your perk, right? So you just said that. I wish they had the original 2005 Lego Star Wars game. One of the greatest gaming experiences I've ever had. You could just sit.
They don't have it on Steam.
No, I don't. I think it's impossible to get. I think you have to download it somewhere, like torrent type of thing. Because Disney's
Just download it.
Disney's made their own shit, so they don't sell that anymore. Like,
And then just go download it or whatever. Just find it.
I don't even know if I'd want to on this computer. Might get a virus.
Pussy.
Shut your fucking faggot, dude.
Pussy.
The menu was Dexter's Diner from episode 2, and the music and the
Dexter's
ambience,
Diner.
the ambience, the ambient sound. Oh my god, the greatest thing ever.
Who's Dexter?
The guy, the same species as the 4-armed Jedi that goes bad.
Oh,
Now that is like they just made that illegal.
one out of
I
Somerville.
don't remember
guess
him
it's
at
out of
all.
Somerville.
He's
Was
from
he in
episode
like
two.
Clone
Ago or
Wars?
something?
He was
like
in
that?
That's crazy.
episode
That's not what
2.
they used.
What did they do?
They cited their
Obi-Wan
authority under
brings
the
the
INA
poison
to deport
dart to
anyone
him
they
to
deem
see
a national
where
security
it came
threat.
from.
That's it.
It's I think the statute that they're using, Marco Rubio's
Episode
using
2,
one where,
like,
any
the
alien
movie
that
episode
allows
2.
them to, that makes foreign policy more difficult for them is
Yeah, I can't remember.
We went over this bill because
I
what happened
cannot
was I got it
fucking
wrong. I
remember.
thought it
You know what I'm
was.
saying? No.
I can't remember the section number is 273 or something that says
No, dog,
that
somebody
they could
kicked
any
the
time
bucket,
revoke a
dude.
visa. And then we
What does
actually
that mean?
fact checked it, and it was like 3 something
means
of the
somebody
INA
kicked
that
the bucket,
states.
dude.
Nice.
it's a foreign policy one.
It was
It's under 237A
It's
of INA.
It's something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
The specific provision is if they pose a threat to U.S. national security.
And that's
Dude,
like,
I wish I was
like
white.
Saudi Arabia is cutting people's hands off. They're like, well, we need Saudi
Why?
Arabia to defend the Red Sea and the
So you can
Gulf
be a
feel
War.
like
fucking
my life-
retard?
You're a national security threat by
I feel like
saying
my
that
life
out
would be a
loud.
lot
Now
easier.
that example, right? I would agree with
So
you
what?
because they're
So
going.
that's
after
not a good thing for American free speech. Because you have the right to criticize Israel and Saudi Arabia and any of these.
Foreigners do.
Even if you're at war, I mean, technically you're supposed to still be allowed to.
I like how
There's
you
case law that
shit on your
protects
own
foreigners.
race, dude.
I am not ever going to be okay with
Oh,
allowing
they've become-
foreign
they've become
people to come to
retards.
our country to dictate by protest what we do.
Well, you were
Just
saying,
think, hey,
Byron, that it is
listen,
legal?
listen. Just think about
It is
the-
legal to run foreign.
Unleash Does anyone have any?
What's your favorite one? Like out of the
It
three,
is really
what's
low
your,
or whatever.
what's your,
Do you guys get the sense that there is
Jurassic Park movies?
a
yeah,
positive
what's your,
no-
what the fuck is it
notion
called?
towards the economy or the economic
Nice.
situation in the
I
U.S.? Or do
can't-
you
I
think
don't
that
know what the
the
word is.
tariffs
Oh, you just
have
said
scared
favorite.
people so much
No,
that
no,
they're
no, no.
expecting
What's your order?
negative things
Of the
too
three.
much?
Oh,
and that
like
the
least
biggest
to
self-fulfilling
worst or
drops.
whatever?
Well, I
Or
think
fucking
people can
worst
get
to
a little bit
greatest?
spooked
Oh,
when they
God,
hear
you
things
fucking
like the
retard.
tariffs that we've
best to
just been
worst.
discussing.
Yeah.
And once people get through that, once they're like, okay, all right, maybe it's not going to be the end of the world that we have.
I actually enjoyed the second one more than the third one.
Third one, okay.
Um,
I
but yeah,
don't.
so I guess it would be that just basically, yeah, the order they came out.
I don't fully disagree,
It's
but
because they're
I
given
like
a script.
some of the third one a lot.
Like which
There's
parts?
a lot of amazing
Like
t-shirt
Spinosaurus.
designs out there.
Yeah, like
But this is an
the
art masterpiece,
beginning
and boy, does it send a
where
message.
you
Elon
first see
Musk
the
with his
Spino and the T-Rex.
Major EU members officially drafting women.
I mean, yeah.
You got Germany,
that
England,
was,
the UK, France
that
preparing
definitely
draft
split
for women,
a lot
so you're
of
finally getting your
people,
equality.
When it killed the
Now all
fucking
the EU
T-Rex.
nations are
Well,
saying
yeah,
prepare for total
objectively,
war
it's a
with
stupid
Russia.
scene because
Get your
just
storable
by
foods
it grabbing onto its
water
neck, it's dead.
and backups ready. I mean, this is bad. So we've got that stack.
Just by
Then we've got the ongoing
Force. And,
signal war plan BS leak.
How deadly it is alone. But
And all the ridiculous garbage.
I will
surrounding
say
that.
one of the most retarded
And
things
as I said, the
in
day this
the
broke,
second one
when I
was
saw Jeff
the
Goldberg
black
in the
girl.
Atlantic, I mean, that guy, as much as
fighting.
told me he was a global
Yeah,
spy.
that was fucking retarded.
Came here and visited me like 13 years ago. I've talked about
That
it
was so
forever.
retarded.
Notice he's never come out and said it's not true. By the way, invite him on the show. Call him up. Say he's coming here for an interview. It wasn't an interview.
But yeah, outside of
He
that,
wanted
I can't
an
really
interview. He goes, "No, I'm not
remember
really here to interview you. We just want to
all
know the
too
Obama
much that
administration
I
wants to know if you're
like,
dangerous and who
really
you work
hated
for.
about that movie.
I'm not going to tell the whole
Which
story
one?
again.
The
But
second one.
I laid all that out.
I like
now.
the scene with.
What did I say the day it
Well, I
broke?
don't even
Days
know
and
if
days and days
it's
ago?
just the movie. It's just.
What
I
did I
guess because
say?
I was young and I was a kid. I
mean,
just
that
wanted
story broke, and the next day they were having their
the
show.
trucks
Less
so
than 24
bad
hours
in
later.
their life.
I said, look for
Which
Vault
one?
7
Like that-
type CIA or other
like the
intelligence hacking
I don't even know.
technology.
Like it's kind of like an RV
Getting in
type
yeah,
thing.
yeah, like the military
Kev Goldberg
RV.
into
Yeah,
the
dude, I
task.
wanted that so bad when I was a kid. Dude.
Even if he was already in the contacts, he could have been added to it to get it, and it spoofed. You don't know. And I warned of this, them making it look like there's leaks out of the
Yeah.
Trump administration, because they kept saying when they were doing the confirmations of Gabbard and Hegseth and Waltz and all of them, they don't have huge
Dude, I
intelligence
remember
backgrounds.
when
They don't
I
know
think
how to do
yeah,
it.
it was
They're
when
going
the
to
second
release
movie came
sensitive
out.
information.
Burger King. They had like a specific Jurassic Park like themed meal, and they had like these like cookies with the Jurassic Park logo on them. Man, they were so good. I still remember it. They're making another one, right? Like
Yeah.
obviously.
I think it's already out.
Oh fuck! Well. Oh yeah, it's the one with like the alien dinosaur, right?
I don't know, but it's one with Scarlett Johansson.
Oh yeah. It's out. I didn't know that.
I don't know for sure, but I think it's coming out soon.
Did you like the one with the Chris Pratt trilogy or whatever?
I don't mind them because I like him, so it's an easier watch for me by default. But I would say they're pretty useless. I would say the second one, I hate the second one. Like
Yeah.
it being in the house, it's really annoying to watch.
Is that the one where they're like, the girl is a clone
Yeah.
or whatever? Yeah. Or how the military. This is the dumbest thing to me. I don't know about you, but to me it was dumb. It's like the military wants to use the dinosaurs. It's just like you have fucking jets and Apache helicopters. What the fuck? What do dinosaurs really afford you? You got fucking tanks. You really need fucking dinosaurs.
Well, I guess their logic is they don't want to use their people and their vehicles.
They're telling you what they're going to do. And they have a long history of it. And sure enough,
I guess so, dude.
why?
Whatever
Online is all their
they gotta
passcodes
say
to
to
all their
justify
internet
making
devices
another
and
movie, I
Signal.
guess.
Oh. Plausible deniability. When it comes out,
They shouldn't call it Jurassic Park anymore. They
they're
should
being
just
spooked,
call
they're
it
being
like
shut up.
fucking.
People keep saying, oh, the police.
What's that
are
movie that
swatting.
came out
They
like
need to
way long ago,
get
like
the phone
10,000
number,
years ago
call,
or
go
some
arrest
shit?
them. They spoof your number off
10,000
another
BC.
spoof number off another spoof numbers. Sometimes 20, 30 hops
Basically like
from another
that. Just
country.
make it kind of like prehistoric. And make it with
Out of
you know
government
Scarlett
and globalist
Johansson and all
intelligence
those like
servers. And the police,
Yeah,
and even the
yeah,
NSA
sure.
would have trouble finding out.
and like have her in like one of those like fur bikinis.
This is how this is done.
Spear.
And here it is.
Hey man, dude, like
In the news.
I would fucking go watch that. I haven't watched the Jurassic Park
Private
movie.
contact info.
I don't think I've
passwords,
gone to
devices,
any of the
of
theaters
Trump's top
to
security
watch
officials,
the
including
new
Mike
stuff they
Waltz,
put
Tulsi
out.
Gabbard, Pete Hegseth reportedly found online via hack data.
I think
Search engine.
I only watched.
Oh.
Well, I don't even know
First
if I
thing
watched
Biden
the
did 4 years
first
ago
one.
when he got
I
in,
definitely
after
watched the
election
second
was,
one in
everyone
theaters.
will use
but-
Signal. It's safe. It's the best. And all these reporters and all these even former intel people are like, do you use Signal? Why, it's the only secure thing. I'm like, yeah, right.
You know, I
There's
basically
nothing
just
secure.
watch
Unless you're in
King
a
Kong
field or a
movie.
cave
I
talking to
just
somebody
wanna
face to face.
get that experience again.
That's why forever real spies
What, the one with the T-Rexes?
drop things off at the park or the parking garage or the mall. People go in a bathroom and they put it behind the toilet and then somebody else goes in and picks it up. That's why they still use pneumatic tube for French intelligence and British intelligence. You know, like when you go to the bank and shoot your check over, comes back with your deposit slip or whatever. That's how it's done. So, if anything was amateur, it's that they were using this, but Hegseth wasn't amateur. There's no targets, there's no specifics, there's not battle planes. And it's right as the planes are launched and it's happening. And still they shouldn't be using it. Get off of it. Use a telephone. Use a different landline. Have your assistants with 20 burner phones from Walmart, randomly bought. Send the secretary to random stores, buy those, and then each time you make these phone calls. The phones cost like $30 a piece. You throw them in the trash. You're going to use a telephone because then they don't have time to get the database to track it all, but they really can. So don't use telephones. Good God. Everything's run through the big telecom NSA snoopers. The telecoms are the NSA. If you really want to communicate with people wirelessly, you use shortwave still. My uncle was sending out the main secret communicators for a lot of the operations in Iran-Contra. He was literally world champion at one point, Morse coder. And even in the 80s, they were sending stuff to the Pentagon and the White House on Morse code. And it wasn't because they didn't have sat phones, didn't have telephones. No.
I have transcended
shortwave. Because they can sit there and have agreed upon channels, what you're going to use this day, that day. They have all sorts of codes that go into it. They use ancient George Washington style codes. Yes, Masonic codes. And that's still how you really do it. And whenever they're going to launch an attack, they should all be in the bubble at the Pentagon or under the bunker at the White House on all those secured systems that are only wired directly to the Pentagon and back and forth. And still, those have got snoopers on them. It's... Oh, God, I said that's coming up. I'm already covering it. It just gives me a headache. I mean, I just... So... But so much of what Trump's doing is great because he moves so quick. And like on tariffs, he puts a policy out, pulls it back, changes it, puts it back out. They can't handle that. They can't deal with the fact that Trump's already got a bunch of battle plans in his mind and a philosophy, and he's testing things and seeing what they'll do and shaking people's cages. So when you hear they're incompetent, they are light years ahead of the globalists and all those minions who were only in control because they had all our tax money and inherited all these other systems that more sophisticated, hardworking, smarter people built, and they had an asleep population that wasn't aware of all of this, and so they could get away with it. Well, people aren't asleep anymore. They might not know all the details, nobody does, but people are looking close now. And so we're in a new world, a new ball game, a new shooting match. So we've got all of that coming up. And then you see testimony like this, and it's really a window into the sickness of the globalists and just their philosophy all over the world. A state representative in testimony in the horrible leftist-run state of Colorado. What a wonderful state, what a horribly run. They have election fraud, we already know that, that's why they stay in power. But the election integrity move and then commissions coming in with all the right moves to stop that, so they won't be in power very long. And they openly talk about, well, we just need to kill all the kids, then there won't be any cost, because kids cost money. If there aren't any children, there won't be any future. But that's the Bill Gates. If we don't give grandma health care, we can hire 10 teachers. No, by taking care of people, you build an economy of service. The money is just the symbol of the transference of energy. It's a dark age when you don't take care of people. And imagine, oh, it's too expensive to raise a child, just kill them. That'll cost less money. Oh, and have less taxpayers? I mean, again, all the actuaries are well known. It's a fact. You have less than 2.1 children for every 2 adults. Your society collapses. All the demographic groups have broken this down. Elon Musk has broken it down. All these big foundations have let it out. It is a fact. Japan, 1.2 children for every 2 people. They're gone. Very quickly. Italy, 1.3. On and on and on. It's a disaster. And now, let's just not have kids. That way there's more money for Social Security. That's as dumb on its face as the climate envoy, John Kerry, 3 times last year I saw, we put the videos, saying we've got to cut farming by half or people are going to starve. You've got to stop eating food or drinking water or you'll get too fat. You got to slit your wrist or you might bleed to death. You got to take cyanide or you might get sick. You got to jump off a 50-story building or you might break your legs. You got to kill all the kids to save money. And that's Cloward and Pivot. Set it up with it. None of it's sustainable. You just go, well, just get rid of everybody. Well, who decides that? Oh, the ultimate power. The lifeboat game they've been playing for 50, 60 years in public and private schools around the Western world. They get all the kids together and said there's only enough food for 8 people on the lifeboat. Let's see who's essential and who's not. And they go through the type of professions you want to be and who gets to live and who's voted off to die. And it introduces the zero-sum game or the limited pot, the feudalist model. So that you start thinking about who's got to die, who's got to be enslaved, who's got to be robbed from, so that you live, and now you're in a predatory model, a conquest model, instead of a Renaissance expansionist model. And that's why they have the bureaucracy and the make-work and all the extra taxes. They admit to weigh down society so that people have to work 7 days a week or 2 or 3 jobs if they want to live half decent, even if they're competent. Everybody else just gives up and society falls apart. Cloward and Piven. Just one modern name of that stratagem. I'll get to that coming up. I already kind of did it, but I'm going to play the clip. And then all the great things that the Trump administration's been doing. There are so many Gabbard removes climate change from intelligence community annual threat assessment because the only thing true about climate change is that there is climate change and that it's constant and that humans have almost no effect in all the real studies. 99+% of the climate is driven by what? That big old yellow thermonuclear controlled explosion in the sky that its mass gravity holds in, called the sun. The other heat comes from thermal vents and volcanic activity. A tiny sub-percent of 1%. It's well known. But when all these climatologists and astrophysicists over the decades explain that, you know, people with top degrees, top research, the UN passed regulations saying the sun has no effect on climate. UN passes resolution like 7 years ago, another one 10. Look it up. UN passes resolution saying climate science is settled and the sun has no effect on climate. That's a good one, right? We'd be absolute zero without that luscious, perfect, juicy, standard yellow sun. I get why the ancients worshipped it. I don't worship it. I know it's a bunch of ignited gases. But the point is that it sure is nice that God gave us that. That runs the show. That thing. That is our daddy and our mommy. That's our womb God gave us. That's our energy source. That is the sweetie pie right there. That is the cupcake. Look at that gorgeous thing right there. Every bit of life you've got because God made that. Thank you, Jesus. But the UN says zero effect on
What
climate.
the fuck was that, dude?
Okay.
Nice.
Just randomly starts the fucking oversteer for no fucking
And of course
reason
you
at
can say,
all.
well, the moon has a few percent. Yeah, but that's because the space wind's off the sun. And when it gets between us and the sun.
For no reason at
it has
all,
this
you
tidal
say.
effect. But as for heat, the sun. So, we'll be getting into that. And so much more today. Michael Savage again coming up. Don't want to miss that. And more. And remember, you've got all the power. When you decide that you have importance, which you do, and when you share the live feed from Real Alex Jones on your email, your text message, your word of mouth, on X, other platforms, you decide a particular clip you think is important, you take it, you share it. Or hell, I don't care, you think it's important, go research it, find out it's true. Say it yourself somewhere. Just get information out. We've come back from massive censorship and almost total suppression, but we held in there together, having real beachheads now. But don't just repost our material or other material you think is important and informative that you know is key. On X, post it everywhere. And do it aggressively. Because without that, we lose. And we've got such momentum right now, we don't want to sit on our laurels in the third quarter, 15 points ahead, and then lose the game. We want to fight like our lives depend on it, because this isn't a damn football game, ladies and gentlemen. This is the real world for all the marbles, all the chips. This is
Last
the big
night
one.
I had a dream that I tore my bicep curling 5-pound weights.
Now, we're going to go to break. I'm going to come back and drill into all the clips and the news on the war and
Well, I haven't
Zelensky saying
worked
Putin
out
shouldn't be
in
dead,
a
the
long
drafting
time,
of the
so
women,
maybe.
they're planning here.
And I was
Democrats have a
convinced
coalition together, and they
he was
almost
real.
every one of them. I think one Democrat's against drafting women. I mean, who you want to call these sweethearts? You're about to get it. Wow. That, all the latest.
Dog, what happened about
So
your
much I didn't get into.
competition, dog?
President
I
Trump
didn't
dropped
go.
a huge bomb. I got that video of the 2020 election. But I'm going to get to that first, actually, didn't I?
When was
The
it?
war stuff. But when we come back, but just
It was like
remember this.
maybe like a week ago or something.
You're the reason we're on air despite all the insane attacks. And then right now, it's all coming to a head.
I could have met
lawyers
the
and other
world's
people
strongest
in
man
the
there.
conference room right now, battle planning,
Why was it?
going on offense.
Yeah.
against the very law firms and others that have been sanctioned by the president for lawfare that
Which one
confess
was it?
to it. But it takes money to do this.
Sorry?
Plus,
What's his
the
name?
products are insanely good.
Mitchell
So I wanna
Hooper.
Salute everyone that's kept us in this operation, my crew in the fight.
He's the most
One of the
recent.
most effective, truthful, accurate
No,
organizations
he's,
out
he's a
there.
Canadian guy.
All glory goes to God, but
Right
God's
back.
working through you, so I thank you. We have incredible supplements, the very best
This
wide
guy's
selection
fucking
of
said
Patriot.
black guy. He's
Apparel.
fucking gay, dude.
So many.
Well, it's the
some
guy
of
that I
best
know
designs
everything
out
at
there.
all. I don't
Fucking
know.
gay.
It's ridiculous how many designs there are. Be sure to look for them all, 'cause they're amazing. T-shirts, ball caps, sweaters, hoodies, you name it. They did a reserve of the new tactical, super badass Critch dagger. So I said it was sold out yesterday. Then a reserve of 300 left, so there's less than that left now, but there are a few of those left. There's the Spartan bundle. It's all there. Make babies, not war. That's very popular. That's a must quote. They'll make love, not war. Don't make babies, not war. The classic 1776. That's Ross Flatley brought back. There are so many really, really cool designs. Constant new ones. There's new ones every couple of days. Some are limited editions, others aren't. Get yours today at thealexshowstore.com. But I want to thank everybody who is supporting the 8th coin in the collectible silver 999 pure silver bullion is available exclusively at thealexshowstore.com, and already
Sounds like you're gonna
30%
break
of them sold
your wheel.
yesterday, 4,000 of them. And when they're
track.
gone, they're gone.
Dude, like-
And it's yours truly. And I guess at that angle, I look like a handsome black man. But when you turn it around, it's really cool coin. It's got the American flag on it, the classic InfoWars stamp on it. 2025 to commemorate all our victories together. And this is a memento to fund the. There won't even be air raid sirens. Submarines will hit us in 2 minutes from 100 miles out. With cruise missiles, you can't stop. Hypersonic cruise missiles. And we're like, well, we'll hit them with them too. Oh, yeah, we're all dead. It's called mutually assured destruction.
I
You'd
just
have to
saw
be
you
mad.
crash into that wall
do it.
or whatever.
So it continues here. EU goes full prepper. Calls citizens to stockpile 72 hours of worth of food, water, and other essentials. Yeah, that'll really help you in a nuclear war. Woman finally attained
I have
equity in
this
Denmark and
mental
other countries.
illness, my friend.
Will now be drafted into the military at age 18. Isn't that
Yeah, dude.
great?
Yeah.
What is it?
Meanwhile, 4 U.S. soldiers found dead near Belarus
The
border.
depression,
In
my
mystery
friend.
tragedy. Oh, yeah, our troops are over there dying, and you're like, well, I thought Trump pulled them out. Remember, there were 10,000 troops for 2 years in Syria after Trump said pull them out. After Trump said pull them out, they didn't. Britain is world's biggest warmonger, says Russia. They've come out again and said it. And that's because they are. So, let's go ahead and play the clip of Zelensky threatening Putin. Here it is.
But it also depends on his age. He will die soon, and that's a fact, and it will come to an end. And it could come to an end even before he ends his absolutely safe and historically losing life. Historically lost life.
So that's his peace deal. Elected that he would not have war with Russia. Elected that he would not
Damn,
join
dog,
NATO.
he fucking
And then
got
they
me.
intensified attacks in eastern Ukraine on Russian areas that are completely Russian forever to manipulate Putin to come in. And then you've got Zbigniew Brzezinski before that planning and all. You've got, before he died, you've got Soros bragging about it. And when you talk about it, they go, oh, that's Russian talking points.
He's
No, it's not.
gotta
Russian
get
talking points. The globalists
kicked
admit
out
they
of
started the
the
war.
race.
The deputy unelected head of the EU Commission said a month ago, played the clip a couple times. She said, oh, yes, we're going to win this war. It may take 20 years with Russia, and then we're going to break Russia up in 4 parts. And we're waiting for Putin to die. You're just going to get a more hardcore guy than him. These people are maniacs. That's why Kissinger, before he died, even said we should end this war. In every study, every war game, it ends in nuclear war. Even remember 2 years ago. Biden said, oh, we can't send F-16s and Abrams tanks. That's on the escalation ladder because they're briefing him. That's World War III. And later, oh, we won't just do that. We'll start bombing with heavy missiles inside Russia. Wonderful idea. And that's still going on. Soon as Trump, quote, turned back on the intelligence a week ago.
Fucking shitting
bombing
himself.
Russia.
Yeah, dude. Well, what else do you expect from me, dude?
Absolutely insane. Disgustingly dangerous.
Shit in the bag,
All
dog.
right.
Of course, though.
I want to get into the judge Trump calling for criminal investigation, you think, and who they arrested in the Tesla situation, in the attacks in Vegas, firebombing. But I mentioned this, so I want to actually play the clip. So here is State Rep Julie McCluskey in Colorado saying abortion and killing children is cheaper than the
Apparently
government.
there's nothing that
as if the
South
government's their
Korea
parents,
can
that's how
do
they want
now
it.
to stop themselves
Having to
from
pay for their social
becoming
services
extinct.
in their life. So,
Well, there's one thing,
imagine
but they ain't gonna do
an
it.
equation. Not having more humans
What are you talking about?
is the answer to civilization. No, not having humans is not a civilization. And if you don't have 2.1
How do I
children
say
at
it?
least
Going back on something that never should have happened.
per
in the first place.
million people,
Yeah.
you don't have replacement numbers. You really need about
Should be.
2.3 for a healthy society.
Pretty simple, actually.
The boom ones, on average, are having 4+ kids. 100 years ago, average family, 5 children. What's the average now in the U.S.? 1.7. Most that's made up by migrants that still have a bunch of
Do you
kids.
think
Illegals.
even if they
That's the
did
replacement
put that into
migration.
law or whatever,
This is, again, just like John Kerry saying last
think
year, we
that
got to cut
would
half
work?
the food production or people will starve.
What do you mean?
It
Put what
is
into law?
incredible. And they
well,
know
I'm
it's
assuming
illogical.
whatever you're saying has to do with women.
So we
right?
don't live as long. Cancer rates are off the chart. And
So
it's
how
because we're
would
being
they go
pushed. And then they keep you
about
alive with all the new medicine they got.
implementing whatever
You'd be
is
dead a lot
thinking
sooner,
about?
but that's when they're sucking the money out of you. They make you sick.
Well, that'd be
to their
homeless
business
if they
plans.
don't.
Then they've got treatments for it, but it never cures you. And then you live a lot less long, but they extract all the money from you. So it is a completely predatory system. And you've got this woman, and they say it all over the place, it's cheaper to kill kids than to take, imagine, the parents have to have jobs and buy them food and
The
clothes.
dog. They
and
gotta
school
be part of
books,
the
and
work.
take them to the park. Then you got to buy them a football. Then you got to buy them a yo-yo. Then you got to buy them a fishing rod. God, it'd just be so much. Imagine there'll be no money spent on taking them to the beach. Or don't worry, Grandma will have to make them
cold.
dinner, make them a pie.
Yeah, well, when you're hot all
And
day, it's
again,
all you want to
Nice.
the Kroc, the guy that created McDonald's, well, I don't think he was an evil guy,
do. Yeah, man.
but he did
The world's a cold
standardization,
place when
like a
it's
Henry
not
Ford
when it
assembly line.
needs to
And
work
he was the guy
properly.
that came up with the plan. They did this by the early 70s. I remember seeing interviews we bragged about it. He said, you know what we did? We wanted to get rid of the service people and have less people. And we just put a thank you
Shall we
on
commence
the trash cans.
the jihad?
And then we would just encourage people, hey, would you like to throw your own trash away?
Sure, man. Probably.
And then it was the same thing for gas stations. You don't,
Probably should,
first you
yeah.
can pump your gas or not pump it. But then they just get rid of, you pull in, they check everything, clean your windshield, whatever. And again, we don't need people,
So,
you see.
GTA 6 got delayed,
and
obviously.
now it's every
'cause
level of
of
society
course
is
it
like
was going
that.
to. Anyone that thought it wasn't going to.
Who needs mathematical skills? You got a calculator.
Pretty
Who needs
brilliant.
doctors? A robot will do it. Doctors now just take orders from
I don't give a
insurance
shit
companies
about
what to
that
do.
game, dude.
They only prescribe the drugs that the insurance company gets a kickback on. So they know exactly what they're doing, and they got the minions out there. I don't know if this idiot Representative Julie McCluskey understands all this. They're just the wokest cult, but the administrators up above, this is being said in Australia, this is being said in Germany, this is being said in France, Canada, all over the world, Italy here.
Some retarded doctor said that
You know,
people
we've
shouldn't be
got
on the
to
toilet
have
for more
less
than 10
children.
minutes. Do you want us to shit?
That's
Full
how
shit?
you have a good civilization. I played it up a few months ago.
Yeah, my insides don't work like that. I can't just sit
Larry
and
Fink
then
at the World
fucking
Government
lease. I gotta fucking.
Remember when they
It's on
said
a
that didn't
fucking
exist?
fountain.
And he says, the countries doing the best are the ones like Japan and others
Yeah, I got
they're having to
my
come out of all this
insides have
automation
to
because there's no
relax.
people, and so they're booming in robotics. You mean
Do that
booming
in
in
less
something
than
to
10
further
minutes.
get
I
rid of
need to
people?
fucking
Humans are supposed to control our environment. That's how we're different from the
take
rest of
my
the animal
time.
kingdom, and decide what we want to do, and chart our quote cultural, economic evolution. And then the brainwashed mainline Christians go, evolution doesn't exist.
These
I mean,
fucking
evolution,
doctors,
like
man.
the airplane has
They
evolved.
don't even fucking follow whatever the fuck it is that they recommend.
Language has evolved. You know, build a future that's based on honor and justice and competition and what makes it better for humans. And the globalists got control in the name of being, we want to retarded people flying airplanes. We want to do all this because it's about equality. That's not real equality. Equality is being able to strive. And then people that are smarter and better than you at certain things make society better. And then we take care of the people that aren't as smart. But the left, once they get control, they go, there's not enough money now. We got to kill the mentally ill people. We've got to euthanize them. The state's the ward in Canada. Oh, we're going to kill this 10-year-old because they've got this disease or because they're Down syndrome. And then where does it end? Well, it's supposed to be about helping the handicapped. Oh, don't use the word handicapped, use the word disabled, but let's kill them. Call them handicapped, don't call them crippled. First, don't call them crippled, call them handicapped. Don't call them handicapped, call them disabled. And then, it's your right for us to brainwash your kid and cut their genitals off, which is about sterilization. Who do they mainly target? Down syndrome, people with neurological disorders, autistic. Now 1 in 30 something from 1 in 10,000.
Yeah, dog, I'm gonna buy you
it's
a Quran.
Bill Gates. Yeah. Oh, if you kill that old lady and don't give her end-of-life care, you can hire some teachers. No, you expand the economy, you create jobs, and you have to have the
Watch me start a race war with the Indians living
and
around
you
you.
have a more diverse economy of taking care of people. People have jobs. You don't kill all the old people or kill all the handicapped people and then go, that'll save money. No, then that's less of an economy. All the moral behavior builds the glistening, powerful society. When you don't care about the unborn and actually think it's cool, and all these leftist women wear shirts saying, I had a bunch of abortions, I loved it, I killed that little bastard. These leftist women, first time I saw it 10 years ago, I thought it was a joke. Now it's everywhere. You've seen it, where they put on their stomach at 6-7 months. Or, hey, it's your birthday. Conceived here, dead here. I'm getting an abortion today. I'm going to kill you, you little bastard. And the women laugh about it. HBO has shows where it's my sexual turn on to have abortions. It's my 7th. Here's my boyfriend. We love it. We love having sex after we kill it. It's like, yeah, it's sexy. They're devil worshippers, mainlining, normalizing human sacrifice in front of you. Yeah, but in the Barbie movie,
You must get into like a trance
not wanting to have
sometimes.
dogs, not wanting
this game, right?
to have babies, even though girls instinctively want that. You can't make them not want it.
Especially
Maternal
when they're
instincts.
in the
So
trap.
she bashes it apart. She kills it. And then they go to Epstein Island and rape little girls. And it's all about the empowerment of the big witch woman. And if you go to a
this looks like a
pro-abortion
big
rally
trap.
in the Capitol anywhere, literal, the women will hiss like demons and tell you they love Satan. We probably want to take countless times. Go to any abortion clinic, and when the left knows you're protesting it, they'll show up and literally tell you, I love Satan, I've killed 10 of my babies, I'm going to kill more. And they've got pentagrams on them. And then there'll be women in pantsuits that look completely conservative saying the same thing, sticking their tongues out saying, I love Satan, I love Satan. We've got compilations of this. Hey, Mick Reed's here. He's made 4 or 5 over the years. I don't want like a 20-minute one or anything, but I know we've got some compilations of the women going, I love Satan. We got that like 6 years ago at the Texas Capitol inside the rotunda. And it's all these women dressed in suits and stuff. They're like, Satan, Satan. Literally, they're all together. Like this giant demon festival. And then Gloria Steinem, I kill babies. And they stop saying as the ultrasounds, 3 ultrasounds, where they say, it's not a human, it's a blob of tissue. Then they're like, I kill that son of a bitch, that little bastard. It's about my power. They love it. So, kill babies. Yeah, this is the doctor. He walks over and she goes, so you kill the child, Jesus leaps for the children. He goes, I do. I love it. Satan loves it. In fact, we got a bunch of compilations of this, but I've seen a bunch of new ones. McBrain, make me a leftist celebrate killing for baby things. And the trans events, these gay pride events, anywhere you see the videos, the thing is to have a man who looks like a space alien saying he's a woman, and then he'll have a fake baby with blood and rip it out and start licking the blood.
You just killed that guy.
Is this fucking
I
faggot
mean, we can't even
serious?
show
dude?
you the stuff. The videos are everywhere.
No
You've seen them
way.
probably. People
What are
eating
you
food,
talking
little kids watching it in San
This guy's a
Francisco,
piece of shit, man.
Austin, Texas, and then in Austin, the public schools, they march the elementary kids out with all the flags and the trans flags, and they just parade their prisoners in front of these parades.
You have a Dr. Pepper, dog?
I mean, being inducted into a satanic pedophile cult. Yeah, play the doctor
How
first.
many of those monster
Since
drinks do
you
you
pulled
still
it up.
have?
3.
And then pull up some of the trans
You drink 7 of
person
them already, you fuck.
simulates aborting its own baby and drinking the blood. This is
All
countless.
I
but-
need,
and then all the
drink, right?
PSAs, we're going to get your kids. Nothing can stop us. We're going to groom them. They're ours. In front of city councils.
That's my
I need
dinner
children.
drinks.
State hearings 3 weeks ago. The dudes in the clown
When
outfits that
did
they
you
say
get
are women.
the free 10?
Not only are they saying
what
a man's a
day?
woman, but ugly dudes in
What
clown
day?
outfits are.
No.
Oh, well, if I've had 7, it's probably more than 10 days ago, maybe.
Oh, okay. Oh.
No, I don't have more than one a day. No way.
You say your sleep is shitty?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go, dog.
It was bad before, so that's retarded.
Fucking drinking Monster Energy, dog. The energy drink is in your blood, dog. It's gonna fucking make you irritable.
Actually, the only thing that energy drinks, specifically Monster, makes me want to do, it doesn't make me tired. It doesn't make me have more energy or sleep, like stay up longer. It just makes me want to jerk off.
Nice, dude.
That's really all it does.
Why do you think that is?
It doesn't have like testosterone and shit in it. Something like that, I don't know.
For women, looking at the clown are scarier. I need access to
Yeah,
your
when it
children.
first
Give me
came out, it
access.
had fucking balls.
They're not even hiding it. Yeah, go ahead and roll the abortion Dr. Tom wanted to do. There it is. Oh, you just had it. I saw you put it on screen. We have B-roll without audio?
Had bull sperm.
Interesting.
Are you fucking
Very
crazy?
interesting. That's a new level.
Pretty sure it did. And
I thought all the computers in there looked at the board.
That's
Great, sir, you gotta repent, sir. You gotta repent, sir, for murdering babies.
Wait, where? He
I
told you to have bull sperm.
Because it's a sin.
I swear it used to.
Stinky breath. Yeah, it's pretty evil of you, sir. Yeah, I am. And I hope and pray that you.
What did you say?
Or where did you hear that from?
Can't remember.
Oh, that's crazy. If it actually is a thing. Bull sperm. Damn, dude. I feel like after people learn about something like that, that would just tank the product. I don't think anybody would want to fucking touch that again.
Okay, so what it is, taurine, which is synthetic. It was originally
Testosterone.
It was a taurine, whatever that is. It was originally isolated from bull semen, but then they manufactured it to be synthetic.
Oh, okay.
So that's what it is.
Oh,
That's what you do to babies, huh?
Does that make sense?
You love it, huh? Yeah, I do.
Taurine, I've heard of that before. That's in like other shit too.
Yeah, you will have a darkened heart, sir. I do have a darkened heart. Yeah. You have a darkened heart. I do very, very much. You will stand before God in judgment. Every day. You will stand before God in judgment. Yes, I will. Every day. All of the babies that
So you think Power Rangers better than
yeah,
Beatles?
keep tearing the babies. Yeah, I will. Keep tearing the babies. I will. Keep tearing the babies apart.
So you think Power Rangers better than Beatles?
Keep tearing the babies apart. 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 Ke
The fuck is wrong with K? So I reduced the downforce, which should take weight off the car. Shut your fucking mouth. Should take weight off the car. Shouldn't put as much force down so the car can go faster. I don't limit the fucking speed, but it's the exact same. Tell me how that makes any sense.
Dude, like, what are you complaining about, dude? You're the driver.
What the fuck is wrong with this shit, man?
You're the driver, dude. It ain't the car, it's the drive.
So if it's hitting the rev limiter, that's my fault?
That's you. It's you.
Dude. It's NA logic right there, dude.
Their blood streams from the ground. Their blood streams from the ground.
Great job, crew, finding all that so fast. But, we haven't gone into this in a while, and there's so many new events I've seen. We should just create a new compilation of the open public Satanism of the left and their love of abortion, which is the murder of children. So I kind of set that up. I'm going to move on to other things, but here's the clip I talked about. This is a state rep in Colorado, Julie McCluskey,
I'm just going
in
to
the
live
hearing,
off of
saying we should fund more
packaged
abortions
soups
through
and,
Medicaid because it's cheaper
canned
than
beef.
childbirth.
I think I can
They're telling you what they're all about in the
manage
death cult. Here it
that.
is.
Do you know what beef
That
tallow is?
savings comes
Fat.
from the averted births
It's
that
just
will
fat,
not
right?
occur
It's like a
because
specific kind of fat.
abortions happened instead. So a birth is more
Yeah, so it's just for,
expensive
like,
than an
cooking.
abortion.
Apparently, in a
So
way,
the
it's
savings
better for you than vegetable oil or something. I don't know. There's something about it that's good.
comes in Medicaid births that will not occur. This bill will actually
Well, it's an animal
decrease
fat, right? So I
costs
imagine
for
it
our
has more
healthcare policy
nutrients.
and financing
They used to
department,
use
our
it,
Medicaid
at
expenditures
McDonald's.
in both this year and out years
For
as
what,
the savings from averted
just cooking
births
the burgers?
outweigh the cost of covering reproductive health care for all Coloradans. This bill requires all abortion services to be state funded. The bill requires an increase to general fund of
getting
1.5 million to
fucking
cover the
old,
cost for
man.
care. But again, a reminder that ultimately the state will see a cost savings. And ultimately, it is truly an honor to be here carrying this bill alongside Rep. Garcia, and I ask for your support of Senate Bill 183.
There you go. I notice almost all the functionaries of
$2.99
Satan
for
now
a
are women because it's
28-ounce
non-threatening.
can of Italian
And they
tomatoes.
just say it straight out, like the governor of Virginia years back, 8 years ago. He's like, yeah, I'm an abortion doctor. I harvest their organs. We keep them alive. We technically then say they're no longer alive, but we harvest them when they're alive. And it's fun, and they sit around and brag, oh, I want to abort more babies, the baby parts. I'm going to buy a Ferrari. I mean, look at these witches. They love death because they're
you
of
need
their
to play a
father,
more
the devil.
relaxing game, dude.
You said I do?
I have hours of them saying they
Yeah.
love Satan, these people. So you got Human Resources Healthcare Committee.
This shit's getting your
Human
stress level up.
Resources wants less people.
No,
And they set it up where there's so much welfare, it
just
bankrupts the
Monaco.
system and says to us, hey,
I
let's
had
just
to
kill
fucking go
everybody.
bullshit after,
That'll
but
fix
I'm
it.
fine.
No, bring back competition. Get rid of the welfare state. It's designed to induct us into this. You domesticate animals because you want them under your control because you're going to slaughter them. Well, we're not animals. Stop being domesticated. Break out of the prison planet. Deconstruct the prison planet. All right, we're going to break. I got so much more I'm going to get to. I've only scratched the surface. Michael Savage, who just went out, did a great job. We'll show that footage coming up. Confronting the Tesla goblins. The 100 million.
Well, I did.
You love it, huh?
Have running.
But you want to get into Pentagon's soon to solicit proposals for secretive Avatar project, Pentagon technical services. I bet money, Quite frankly, I didn't develop Optimal Human when Bigley came on as a big sponsor. And I told them the supplements I wanted from the companies I wanted. They went out and did what I wanted. People love them and they're incredible.
While other networks.
Not their countries, their troops. He says, you're about to create a giant bloodbath, and you're going to directly attack us and admit you're doing it. So you can invoke Article 5.
What game is more relaxing?
And go straight into war with Russia. So the globalists have a gun to
So
our
what
head
game is more relaxing?
through Europe, through the UK. Their economic attacks, censorship attacks, their attacks on Trump, all the 9 years of the Steele dossier and all their MI6 attacks, billions spent to attack independent media, $300 million last year from the White House to Reuters, MI6 to attack Musk, on and on and on. UK, France, involved in Kiev's latest attack on Russian energy infrastructure, Moscow. And the UK and France admit it. And Zelensky says, we're going to kill Putin sooner. He'll be dead. Is that what you do to get a peace deal? No, they've said, we're not going to have peace. Now, they wouldn't pony up the 860-something billion they tried to get the other EU countries on board with. A bunch of them said no, like Italy and Hungary. But the other countries are saying they'll double the amount they were going to give.
Oh, shit.
Build Lego, just got given last week by France and England. Another couple billion coming today. And they're flooding it with troops. And they're going to put their flags on their uniforms now. They've not been doing that. The covert hybrid war, proxy war, and it's just going up the Rand Corporation threat continuum ladder. The Russian war games call it the threat ladder as well.
Lego.
You've heard Trump's intelligence folks say we're going up the threat ladder. This has got to stop. Never heard those terms used by Biden, but he did say you sent F-16s and Abrams tanks. That's World War III. Was the escalation. Well, we're already way past that. That's the first big thing I'm going to hit. Russia threatens Britain and France with bloodbath. Warning as Ukraine support talks kick off in Paris. Ukraine support talks, you mean war. Europe directly, openly, publicly declared with Russia. This never got this bad in the Cold War. This is the worst it's ever been. The International Atomic Scientists Group in Chicago, on their doomsday clock, have it the closest to nuclear war in every war game. You start using nukes, so-called tacticals, very fast. Within hours in most war games, and many within days, there really are no scenarios where it doesn't go to full nuclear commitment, and then the Pakistanis and the Indians and the Chinese all start killing each other. Bunch of the states you hear of that don't have nukes do have nukes. Israel, Iran, Saudi Arabia, it all just goes bonkers. So, globalists, I remember a decade ago, 15 years ago, countries would try to vote to get out of the EU because they never voted to get into it. It's a trade deal, but they voted to get into it not knowing it was a takeover deal, just like all the other globalist systems Trump's pulling us out of now. And you had Von Rumpi of the Olympic Commission. You can look this up. Von Rumpi says if anyone leaves the EU, if any nation leaves, there'll be war. And they asked, what do you mean? We'll have a war with Russia. So they start one anytime they want. And that's, they've encircled Russia. They've taken almost all the countries over. Country votes to not have war. They just suspend the election, arrest the candidate. Now they're saying they'll do it in Poland if they don't like who wins. Germany. I mean, this is crazy. Britain and France sending military teams to Ukraine to deter Putin. Oh, that's what that's called, war. Putin defies Trump, declaring he can finish off Ukraine and unleash new strikes. That's the Sun. Defies Trump? Trump's told both sides to stop. And Ukraine hasn't stopped. They've intensified attacks. And you'll see them, Zelensky bragging about it, but you watch our news, it's like, Ukraine's not doing anything. They're doing the peace deal. Meanwhile, you watch Zelensky, no peace, Portugal forever. Yes, you let those join NATO, I resign.
You're going the wrong way.
That's a quote. Putin seeks UN government for Ukraine won't sign peace plan with Kiev's illegitimate government. So, the globalists' only redoubt is the UK, the EU, Australia, New Zealand, and Canada. That's what they've got left. And they've openly gone and allied now with Communist China. And Starmer's come over with a secret agreement to say, okay, we'll flip to you if you guarantee us security, because we pay for almost all the military operations, have more military than anybody combined. As you know, our defense spending is bigger than the top 10, top 20-something countries combined. still the biggest and the best. The Russians are a very close second, particularly in nuclear submarines and hypersonic missiles that'll eat the paint off your house and give you a permanent orange afro. So, we'll get to that. That is bad. So that's our first big thing I'm going to get more into. Just gave you a little summary right there. Then, Trump cutting the funding to the World Trade Organization is the U.S. exiting it in everything but name. And I said his reciprocal tariff executive order 3.5 weeks ago was the beginning of the U.S. exiting it, and to be cut the funding and be complete. It's done. And again, we give most of the money to it, just like everything else. Globalists that run the U.S. until now set it up, it's like the UN. It is totally tyrannical. You get outvoted every time on it. These one-sided trade deals. The middlemen, the globalists make all the money. Not even the countries that are screwing us. They're just part of it, their leadership. And doing that is just a huge attack on the globalist, unelected system. And we're when these trade wars where we're retaliating decades of being totally screwed on average of 90% trade deficit. I mean, in the good cases, we got 10% trade with these countries. In most cases, like 5% or less. So they'll get 95% of their stuff they're selling, and then they'll buy 5% of ours. I mean, it is wild. And that's huge. And I got sources that Trump is going to ready to start cutting funding with UN on his WTO like he did a month ago. And the Hill saying Trump should cut UN funding until it aligns with U.S. priorities. Well, that's moving that way. I'm told next week that's going to be being announced. Then I want to play a lot of this because it was very impressive. I was busy working late and I didn't get a chance to watch Musk and his Doge team on Brett Barrier's station. I watched it. I woke up at 3:30 in the morning this morning, and I pulled a bunch of clips out of it. It's just so strong. Plus, I follow it also, though it's all true. If anything, Musk was understated, but heroic action. I wrote a little headline for the live show I just put out before we went live, that I liken it to a runaway train, bullet train, speed train going 200 miles an hour towards New York City. That's kind of the archetype of the whole world, let's just say the world. And it's loaded with hydrogen bombs that are going to detonate if it crashes. And the conductor is a psychotic Satanist, and his assistant is a gremlin. And so Doge is flying in a helicopter at 200 miles an hour, a jet helicopter, and have lowered themselves on ropes down to the surface of the train. And you got the conductor and the gremlin firing machine gun rounds at them while they try to weld a hole in the top and get in to take control of the wheel. To take control of the accelerator. To take control of the throttle. Not a wheel on train. And that's what this is. And then I see some people, not the left, that says they're stealing your Social Security. All those lies, no proof, it's all just made up. Then I see some of the super patriots that nothing could ever be real. They're so pure. Everybody else is bad at them. And, it's making way for AI takeover and corruption. Well, if that happens down the road, we'll fight it. But I haven't seen any of that. What we're dealing with is the globalists wanting to collapse the world to bring in their new system of social credit score and total control and AI. That's the stated plan. So what, you just let the runaway train run here and you don't go save Social Security, you don't go save Medicare, you don't save the dollar, you don't secure the border, you don't stop the trillions being stolen to globalist NGOs to main mission, teach us to castrate our children? No, it's cutting off the funding for the entire New World Order financial, social warfare brainwashing system. Trump's cutting off the World War III money, and the Satanism money, and the pedophile money, and the castration money, the transgender cult. I mean, he's just doing it all. It's real. And it's obscene. for people that won't recognize it when we're all in so much danger. He is fighting. Trump is fighting to end this World War III scenario. So is he going. And the psychotics have got a gun to our head, literally sending troops to officially fight the Russians. And they've said in their statements when British and French troops get killed, they're going to invoke total war. And they got PSAs running across the EU, prepare for nuclear war, and get food and water. And they're launching national drafts and conscripting women in multiple EU countries and telling the other ones, get ready in the UK, France, and Germany. Prepare for the national draft for men and women. Total fucking war. And then I see just constant harping because it's the moral thing to do. It proves you're real to obsess on Israel and obsess constantly on Gaza and just only talk about it. I care about people dying, 50,000 of them. I care about the Israelis and the Israeli stand down. That's the big one. Behind the scenes, working with Hamas at the leadership level, even though they killed a bunch of them. It's sick. On October 7th, I care. But see, you got millions dead in the Ukraine-Russia war, and the globals are trying to use it as the detonator for nuclear war and holding us hostage. It is infinitely more important than Israel, infinitely more important than Gaza, infinitely more important, and 50,000 dead versus millions dead in nuclear war, and Russia officially saying, okay, we'll go to war with Europe.
I'll be back.
All right. okay, dude?
And Putin sending down MIRV
Sound like you're in
tipped
pain, dude.
ballistic missiles that can penetrate the West missile defense systems. Mach 15 ICBMs. Mach 20.
What the fuck is a paper?
Again, they can.
Where's
Stalin said one man dies is a tragedy, 10,000 dies is a statistic. It's true.
Why do you need paper, dude?
So
So we don't have to look. So I
you
can
see
tilt
the
it
dead
how I
bodies
want.
of kids crushed under buildings, and I hate it. It's terrible, and we've been against it.
What?
And we've exposed the whole thing. But again, the mental
What do you mean
illness.
tilt it?
You know what?
so
I
many
don't
of
have the brain
populace
power
returns, it's
to
just
play this, so I'm
nothing.
just gonna play
Israel,
free for all.
Israel.
That's okay.
Israel.
Huh?
And then, since
I
you
said,
talk
yeah,
about
sure, whatever,
Russia
do
and
what
the
you want.
war, you're with Israel. I'd have nothing to do with Israel. I expose it constantly, the bad things, and any other country that does stuff. Owen just interviewed the head of the USS Liberty Society, and I'm like, why's he got to leave town? I want him on my show. Already had him on 10 times over the years. The point is that can you understand that we're not facing nuclear war over what Israel's doing unless we hit Iran, which I am also against. But Iran's got to stop trying to blow up our ships in the Persian Gulf. Don't you understand Iran's not good heroes? Can you understand that both sides can be bad? I'm done talking about that. My point is I'm getting into all of this. And how they're trying to crash the market. And how the media is calling it the new Canadian Prime Minister. No, he hasn't had an election. Trudeau had the King of England suspend Parliament, even though Commonwealths don't have any power. Read the agreements. Yeah, they do. The King has no power. No, it's ceremonial. Bull crap. And now he's basically declaring war on us with no cards. I mean, it is crazy. That's coming up. And I love Gateway Pundit. Gateway Pundit has new Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney announces old relationship with the U.S. is over. He's not the new Prime Minister. It's all these little bait and switches, man, that even smart people buy into. He's the globalist installed former head of the Bank of England, former top UN climate change envoy. And they're just hoping everybody thinks it looks, well, I guess he's the Prime Minister, so I guess the election they've got on the 28th next month doesn't really matter. Yeah, print me that article. Print me that Trump statement thing. All right, I'm going to stop right now. Oh, man, Kennedy, massive, devastating moves to clean up the food, the water, going right after the injection, saying, oh, yeah, we're investigating, and we know these shots are hurting people.
Oh shit, shield operators.
Got the secret databases,
You can't play
we're
shield
about to release
operators.
it all, and it's over for the big pharma. I mean, wild
Yo, that is
action.
based.
All those thousands of chemicals that you've been given a waiver.
I thought you're playing
no
free-for-all.
investigation. We know we're toxic. We know we're addicting. That you put in food. You don't have that
The
waiver
fuck, you
anymore.
thought I
You
was
can't do that.
playing
I mean, you got
bugs?
a few months to give us a plan. How you're pulling it out. They're already reformulated.
Yeah, they're fucking banned in free for all. That's sick. Almost like it should be the same for everything else.
Everywhere. Woo! Real. Tens of millions of Americans a year are killed by all this crap that builds up in us. That's big.
You're on the clock. Eliminate hostiles. You have the lead. First blood. Keep it going. Hostiles are
Bro, he's camping in the fucking bathroom, bro. Nice, get out. Like, how many fucking times are we gonna get fucking double teamed, man? Holy fuck. Is this the same map that I rage quit last time because it's fucking garbage for this fucking game mode? Like, what am I supposed to play if I'm getting shot from behind every time? Fucking real. Can't even change the character.
Kill. 5 consecutive
like, you're not good at
eliminations.
the game, dude.
Enemies are halfway to victory. 5 minutes left.
Dude, the sound in this game has to be the worst sound of any game I've ever played. Like, I really has to stop challenging me. This thing is unbelievably blessed. Wait, he's out. He fucking jumped outside, dude. Yeah, that must be the gayest shit I've ever seen. And I shot like 7 bullets in him, and he's still half health. He saw me spawn. That's fucking amazing, dude.
2 kills. Close to objective. Triple elimination. Double elimination.
This guy's so good.
You have 2 minutes.
That's millions and millions of people dying. We're the only country in the world that allows all this stuff in the food, this garbage. We're targeted. They're going after the fluoride in the water and everything else. And they killed the new COVID shot rollout. Said, nope, not doing it. I want to see the whole thing killed. But the point is, They're going to bring all the dirt out, all the secret studies, all the secret data, have the total surveillance released, and it will destroy them. We are gaining more ground in a week than we used to gain in 10 years. There are decades when nothing happens, and there are weeks when decades happen. Other great quotes from evil men, V.I. Lenin, but it's true. I want to make a massive announcement right now. And I'm so blown away by this. This is the most exciting thing, quote, supplement-wise, I've ever done
This
in
map is
decades
horrible for this game,
in my
though, dude.
career, in my research. Okay? Now, decades ago, we looked at selling you methylene blue. The problem is you couldn't get pharmaceutical grade. It was something nobody knew about. Now, because the world's awakened to it, there's a bunch of pharmaceutical grade makers of it. My doctors, medical doctor at clinics all over the state, said you need to get on methylene blue. Told me how to buy it on.
Eliminate as many hostiles as you can. You have the lead. Enemies are in.
Dude, where'd my guns go? What the fuck is these guys are so bad, but they're able to fucking turn.
Stay on track. Get back to work.
These guys, like, I don't understand it, man. Oh, you're bad. Dude, I almost kill you. You shouldn't be behind. How bad are you? Okay, where are my bullets going? Holy fuck. Stop shooting because, you know, he's dead, but apparently he's not dead. Because the game's terrible. And he's pre-firing me. Okay, now I'm just getting pre-fired, okay? Like, that's literally no way that they know I'm there, because you can't hear people in that game, so how do they know I'm there? Absolutely fucking retarded.